Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Blaise XPerience once again. You are joining us for episode number 59 today. And today we have a special episode. This is actually going to be the first time in the Blaise XPerience history where we have 4 people on the line with us. We did have 3 people for one episode back in episode 4. That was the only time we had 3. And this will be the only time we have 4. So we have some great guests with us. But before we get into what our topic is and our guest, I will announce that our next stream is probably going to be on Saturday. So the day you're hearing this, I'll probably do a stream that night. Our next podcast will be on Wednesday, 1/9. I don't know what game it's going to be about yet, but I'll talk about something that day. And then a week after today, this is going to release on Saturday, 1/5. A week after today, we're going to have the results of this show. So without further ado, this show is going to be the State of Decay Awards nominations. This is the first ever State of Decay Awards show that we're going to do. And next week, we'll do the results. Today, we're going to talk about the nominations. And when you're hearing this, the ballot should already be out. I plan to release the ballot probably about Thursday of this week. So when you're hearing this, it should already be out. And you'll have about a week to vote on it. And then we'll announce the results next week. And the awards results show will probably have some different panelists. So we can kind of get some other takes in there. We might have a couple of repeats, one repeat. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try and get some different panelists in there as well. But we do have some great panelists with us here today. So they're all people who have actually appeared on the podcast before, so you should know them pretty well. First up, we do have a guest that appeared 2 times on the podcast. He appeared on episode 26 and episode 34, but he hasn't appeared on the podcast for about 3 months now, so we're bringing him back. He is a YouTuber, and he's also a finalist in Undead Trials 2. Please welcome back to the show, Mariss. How are you, Mariss?
Hey, welcome. Glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you back. It's been a little while, so it's nice to have you back on now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You ready to talk some awards with us?
Oh yeah. Let's get to the next guests and then let's get to the
Let's
nominees.
do it. So next up, we have a guest that appeared at episode 47 about a month ago. He is a streamer and YouTuber, and he's also a former UT1 Duos champion. Please welcome to the podcast, Sarcoth. How are you doing, Sarcoth?
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Glad you're here. You ready to get in some words, too?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. And we have one other guest here with us. He appeared on episode 56 2 weeks ago, so he appeared most recently. But we're bringing back the 2-time Undead Trials solo champion and streamer. Please welcome back to the podcast, Fall Down Go Boom. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy New Year.
Exactly. Happy New Year to everyone that's listening. Happy New Year to all 3 of you. It's going to be a great new year, and I'm really excited to do this new year, and with all the things in State of Decay.
Heck yeah. A lot of stuff coming down the pipe. Can't wait.
Yeah, and 2018 was a great year for the game, a great year for the community, and I really enjoyed everything that came out. Sarcoth, how did you feel about the year?
Great. Accomplished a lot of different things this year, and plus, we did multiple events, and just through my streams, I love how the community came out.
No, I agree completely. I think this community has been growing great, and I love the direction it's going in, and I can't wait to see where 2019 brings us. And I know when the game first came out, Mariss was putting out a lot of YouTube videos that were great for the game as well. So, Mariss, how did you feel the year went?
Oh, I'm so happy this year. Unfortunately, State of Decay was not in the beginning of year, but in May when it came out, it went great. So I'm really happy this game seen second in series and we had this chance to play. So yes, awesome year.
No, I agree, and I'm sure Fall Down probably agrees as well. He's been doing a lot of great streams on his stream, and he does a lot of great things, with all the challenges he does. So I'm sure it had a great year as well.
Yeah, this is the first time I ever got into streaming was this year. It's around the time that State of Decay 2 launched originally was when I really started thinking about setting up my rig and getting going and giving this crazy thing a try. So it was an awesome year, just because I met all you guys and started down this road.
Absolutely. And I think, we're all showing here that, we have love for this game. All 4 of us, have put in a lot of time with this game this year. Some of us put in a lot of time with the first game as well. So I think we're all definitely fans of this game and this community.
Mm-hmm,
and
definitely.
I'm excited for what 2019 is going to bring. You guys have any thoughts about what 2019 is going to bring?
Oh, we're looking forward to, or I'm looking forward to a return to the Valley. and to the original locations in State of Decay 1. That's going to be awesome. And just seeing what they did with the map, or what Undead Labs does with the map, I should say, is something that I'm really looking forward to.
I personally
Absolutely.
can't wait for the difficulty increases. I'm looking forward to that big time.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. The difficulty increase is something I'm really looking forward to, because for the people like us that have put a lot of time into the game already, it's going to be something different for us that we can actually have a harder game to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for me it's easy. I like to have this little child sensation when I allow Undead Labs to surprise me. I'm the least updated. What they are doing, what's the update? I know generally, but I want them to surprise me, and that's what I'm going for.
Well, I think they will surprise us. I think early this year, there's supposed to be the difficulty update, so we don't know exactly when that's going to be yet, but I'm hoping like maybe February or March. I don't think it's going to be as soon as January, but we'll see. I can't wait for it, and until they do release that, we are going to have more community events coming. We're going to have Undead Trials 3 in January, so I'm hoping you guys are looking forward to that as much as I am.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Sarcoth might have to defend his duos championship there in Undead Trials. We'll see.
Ooh,
see.
duos are coming back?
We're going to have some Daybreak action, so we haven't officially decided how we're going to work it yet, but we did talk about possibly doing some squads, because we haven't done any squads yet, so I think it'd be nice to do some 3 and 4 player action in Daybreak. What do you guys think?
That'd be
great.
Amazing.
I'm a little bit concerned, but it'll be great.
Why concerned? Yeah, I'm, as I stated many times already, I think I love to play with players, not against them, so I'm looking forward for some team action.
Me too. Well, my concern just goes down to connectivity, that's all.
No, I hear you there, but I mean, I think how we're going to do it, we haven't officially decided everything yet, but I think it's going to be where you can choose your own teammates, so you can kind of negate some of that by choosing teammates that might have better connectivity issues with you. But I'm kind of hoping that if we do 3 and 4 player teams, that some of the original players from Undead Trials 1, we might kind of have our duo partners with us still, so kind of, adds to our team. So we'll see how that goes. But, I'm sure Sarcoth, you're probably going to want to play with Screw Loose again.
Probably. I mean, he's getting a little bit rusty, though, lately.
You heard it here first, Screw. You're welcome on Team Fall Down.
Well, I don't know how rusty you think he's getting, because he did beat you in Undead Trials too, so, he's beating the old man now.
Not face to face, though.
That burn!
It would have gone all different if we were face to face.
Well, maybe we'll have to put that into action then.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
But yeah, I can't look forward to the year. The year's going to be great. We're going to have some more Decay Fest action, some more Undead Trials in the base game. But of course, we're going to have that Undead Trials 3 in Daybreak first, and we'll see how that goes. And we'll have some more news about that soon, because that's going to be towards the end of the month. So stay tuned. We're going to have news dropping about that very soon.
Nice. Nice.
But we do have some awards categories to talk about. So this is going to be the first ever State of Decay Awards. So we have some people nominated here. We have 4 categories for actual people in the community. So there's basically Streamer of the Year, Content Creator of the Year, Community Member of the Year, and then Rookie of the Year, which is like for a new content creator. And then we have a bunch of categories for the game itself, such as like the map, best melee weapon, things like that. So we'll kind of run down some of these categories. And I know Fall Down has to get out of here partway through the podcast, but we'll kind of get into some of the categories about the people first. So our first category we have here is Streamer of the Year. And Streamer of the Year is basically for any streamer that has, put a lot of time into the game. They've streamed a lot of the game, and they've kind of dedicated a lot of streams to the game. So there's obviously streamers that are going to be left off this list, because we can't really put every streamer on here, but we tried to fit a bunch of streamers on here that really dedicated a lot of time to the game, and they kind of put forth a lot of great things for the game. So we have a couple of those streamers here with us today, so we're going to kind of go down the list, and we can kind of talk about them a little bit individually. So, Fall Down, if you want to talk about our first person on the list here.
Sure, Cases. So Cases was one of the first people in the community that I met. He and Mr. Dart, and actually yourself, Blaise, really reached out and kind of went to a few of my first streams when I was streaming the game, contributed new rules and things like that. I've watched cases stream State of Decay in order to learn kind of different ways of playing the game, different ways of succeeding at the game. So, I mean, it is definitely deserved.
Absolutely. Sizzle has been a great part of the community. He's played a lot of State of Decay 1, a lot of State of Decay 2, and he's definitely a streamer that I would recommend people checking out if you haven't already. He has this whole persona with his community that he's the first knight, and he kind of has like a code with his community, and it's really cool to watch. So I would definitely recommend people checking him out, and I'm glad that he can be recognized as one of the potential streamers of the year here.
Agreed.
Sarcoth, do you want to say anything about our second person on this list?
Sure, Mr. Darts Broadcast. He does a lot with the community. He gets really involved with his viewers, talking to them, and then he just the fact that he stepped in to help out with the undead trials, and he was really involved in that, and I mean, I don't know, he's a really great guy, all around great guy.
No, I agree, and he's a lot of fun to watch, and I love how interactive he is with his chat too, because I think a lot of these people on this list are interactive with their chat, but I think he does a great job of keeping it very professional, and he calls himself the gentleman gamer, and I think he kind of, embodies that, so I do appreciate that.
And just to mention, that's the last of his quality, but don't forget about how good looking that guy is. Just saying.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
Damn it, Dart. Damn
it. He would take that category from all of us, probably. But that's, fortunately for us, that's not one of the categories. Man. Yeah, that's not one of the categories we have today. So, fortunately for us, we're not going to lose in that one. But next up, I will talk about our next person on the list. Our next person is here with us today.
Ooh, we
have Fall Down Go Boom. Yes. And I really, love your streams. I think you do a great job with your streams. And what's interesting about Fall Down is, unlike a lot of people on this list, he really tries to challenge himself more than the game demands. So I think that's really unique because he adds challenges like, say, playing with your controller upside down and random things like that. I mean, I would never even attempt to play with my controller upside down. So, more props to you for even trying that. I mean, so I really appreciate all those challenges you put yourself through. And I think it's why you're probably a two-time champion, because you put yourself through all these trials that kind of help put forth extra pressure on the rest of us. So I think you do a great job with your streams, and I'm glad you're on this list.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No problem. And our fourth person is also on this list. Mariss, do you want to say anything about our fourth person?
Oh, Sarcoth. Of course. He's awesome dude. Let's start with dude. I'll start with dude. Because he's YouTuber, he's streamer, he's community member, he's I don't know. I can keep counting the things he's doing for, and all
my eyes. Yes. Tell me about my eyes.
And it's all,
that's what
it's
it is.
all about and around gaming, which is, I think, the main thing that brought all the people together. So I really like how he interacts, tries, streams, and does all around the gaming, because we are here because we love gaming, and there are out there way more people that think that gaming and games are for kids only, and that's really bugging me. So he's doing a great job in my view. For example, the same.
In other words, he's saying that I'm old.
I'm saying because we all here are grown-ups, and we are doing the gaming that other people don't understand. And I think what he's doing, he's bringing to society, to people themselves, and showing that games are awesome, and how it's actually not that easy, that this being a grown-up and having such a hobby that takes so much time. So yeah. Awesome. I like his streams and YouTube videos and all the experiments he's doing in all the games. Let's just be clear here.
No, I agree. I mean, Sarcoth is a great streamer, and I love every time everyone streams. He streams a lot while I'm at work, and I get on my lunch break, and I head right over to his streams, and it's a very fun time my lunch. He helps my lunch go by a lot faster. So thank you, Sarcoth, for making my lunch a good lunch, because if it wasn't for people like you that were on during my lunch, I wouldn't have anything to do. So
oh, you're welcome. Thanks for watching.
No problem. And I think you do a great job, interacting with your community. And I think you do a great job trying to teach people the games that you're playing a little bit too, because even games that aren't State of Decay, I jump in there and I don't know anything about, like, say, Atlas you've been playing recently. Like, I didn't really know anything about that. I jump in there and I kind of, learn the game from you. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
But next up on our list, we have our 5th potential streamer of the year. Our next one is Rabbit, and Rabbit is someone that I think is definitely worthy of being on this list as well. Rabbit is someone that has been with us for a while in the community. He has participated in all the events except Undead Trials 2. He was supposed to be in Undead Trials 2, but he had some internet issues go on, which, unfortunately we've all been there for, so. But
definitely. I mean, when I saw that Rabbit was playing in Undead Trials 2, I was worried. Like, the man is a beast.
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, yes. I can add definitely. I had a trouble with pairing in Undead Trials, I think, duos, and he came in and helped out. Like, basically we were paired together, and it was first time I met him, if I can mention. It was the best pleasure playing. He's such a nice guy. I think that's the precise word, because I've seen his streams, and there's other people like angry and nagging him and everything, and he's always so chill and so nice, so polite in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I'm lucky. I get to watch him almost my whole afternoon while I'm at work, and because he comes on during that time, so I get to watch him until I get home, and then I get on afterwards. But he does a lot of stuff. He's great with the community. He is an entertainer. I will give you that. He's probably one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, I mean, Rabbit is definitely very funny, and he's one of the streamers that makes me laugh the most. Each streamer, I think, has something unique to them, and I think that's one of the things that's unique to Rabbit, where he's like one of the funnier streamers I see, because he always has this personality that just makes you want to laugh and you have a good time in the streams. And I really appreciate how helpful he is as well, because there's been events in the past where Rabbit, steps in at a moment's notice to help out. Like, for example, in Undead Trials 1, that Mariss mentioned, Rabbit wasn't actually Mariss's original partner, but Rabbit stepped in and, became Mariss's partner on a short notice. And I appreciate things like that.
That and his icon, Rabbit's icon, just makes me giggle every time I see it. Just the little rabbit, it makes me laugh.
And
completely off topic, though.
All the music he has for all the follows and whatever interaction the community does, it's always coming up with some awesome song clips and everything that livens up the stream so well. It's awesome.
Absolutely. So, props to Rabbit. You definitely deserve to be on this list, and good luck to you in this category. But next up, we have our 6th potential streamer of the year. Fall Down or Sarcoth, do you want to take this one?
Sure. I mean, Fallout Girl's the original, right? Like, she's probably the first person that I ever watched stream this game. And yeah, there's if someone's listening to this and doesn't know Fallout Girl, then, I mean, that would be surprising. Because I feel like she's one of those people that's been around for a really long time and really been involved in the community since really the beginning. Yeah,
absolutely.
Amazing streamer, good person, very friendly, very fun, and that's pretty much it. I mean, just overall, just a good person.
No, I agree. I think she's definitely very friendly, and that's one of the things I appreciate about her. You go into her stream anytime, and she'll be happy to say hello to anyone, and I do appreciate that.
She's very friendly and definitely outgoing with her viewers.
Agreed. And I think she definitely deserves to be on this list. She always streams the game. She has a great time with the game, and it's something that is important to her, just like it is to the rest of us on this list.
I would like to say one more thing, too, about Fallout Girl. We both are fans of Fallout, so, I can...
that is true.
I got to give her hypes on that one.
Oh, yeah. I'm also with this one. Fallout and it's post-apocalyptic games that ties us together. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You three can just jump into the game together sometime, maybe. We'll see. But we do have a 7th potential streamer of the year. And our 7th one, Sarcoth, do you want to talk about this person?
Yes, we got P1 Gamer. Actually, P1's the first person that I connected with outside of my viewers in the community. I saw him streaming one time. Undead Labs added me as a friend on their list, so I started looking at all the friends that they had, and then I started checking him out. And he just happened to be the first one I saw that was streaming. I jumped to the stream, said hi. He talked, he was interacting with me and all the other viewers, and I've just been watching him ever since, and because of him, I ended up meeting everybody else. So
actually, likewise, P1 was also one of the first people, along with Dart cases, was one of the first people to reach out to me when I started streaming as well. Just giving me encouragement and telling me I was doing a good job. So props to P1, and hats off to him. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it, and I appreciate the continued support.
Yeah, and he's one of the first people I met as well. When I first met him, I was more talking to a lot of people on Mixer, and a lot of people on the community are on Twitch. So I didn't know a lot of the people on Twitch like yourselves. So through him, I learned who else was in the community, and I kind of got to talking to you guys. I got to know you guys more. So I do appreciate that. And P1 did create the first Decay Fest with me, and that was a fun time creating that. And one of the things I like about P1 as well is he's very passionate about the game, and it definitely shows that he has passion for the game. So I do appreciate that, because it's a game that we all love. So I definitely appreciate his passion for the game.
And it would be not correct for me not to point out that he is a freaking beast at Black Ops.
Well, I don't play any Black Ops, but if I ever did, then maybe I go talk to him then.
Good point.
But those are our 7 streamers of the year. So we have K-Sizzle, Mr. Dart, Fall Down Go Boom, Sarcoth, Rabbit, Fallout Girl, and P1 Gamer. And, all of them are great streamers, and several of them have actually been featured on the Undead Labs live streams, so that's pretty cool that, several of them got that feature. And, hopefully the ones that haven't get featured soon. But next, we have a different category. We have a category for Content Creator of the Year, and this is for a non-streamer. And I had thought about doing these together in the same category, but I thought it was fair to split them up into separate categories because there's a lot of YouTubers that don't stream, and they just kind of create YouTube videos, they're edited videos. So I thought it was worthy to recognize people that don't normally stream or they stream less, and recognize the streamers separately, because the streamers, that's basically their main thing they do. And the people on this list, their main thing, I wouldn't say their main thing is streaming. I would say their main thing is like videos or other types of content. So first up, we have Arky Gamecast. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Arky, but Arky has been a big part of State of Decay, especially this year, and he's created a lot of videos for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list, and I don't like the second place, but all others I will agree. Awesome creators.
Yeah, that second guy we'll talk about soon. But Arky is a great guy. I think he recently has announced that he's going to be going away from the game, but this is a awards list for the year of 2018. So
yeah, and he put out a ton of stuff. I mean, just the coverage videos that he makes by themselves are awesome. Answering questions from the audience that people send in, everything along those lines. It's a nice forum, and especially considering the fact that, YouTube is a very different medium than streaming. The fact that he's so approachable about it is awesome.
No, I agree completely. And I think he's a great guy and very friendly as well. Like, for example, on his sort of farewell video he did, he was basically doing a farewell. This one actually was a stream in this case, but he was doing a farewell stream because he was announcing that, in 2019, he wouldn't really be covering State of Decay as much. But in that farewell stream, he actually, I was in a stream with him, and he actually announced the event we had coming up, Undead Trials 2. So he announced that to everyone, and he's definitely a helpful guy that likes to give back to the community. So I definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't checked out any of his videos, go check out his videos. He's a great YouTuber. But next, Mariss did mention briefly the second guy on this list.
Oh, God,
so up for Content Creator of the Year, we have MLMariss, and he is a YouTuber. He is actually the first YouTuber I came across when I was looking for State of Decay content, and he was the first, State of Decay member of the community that I had on the podcast back in episode 26. And he was always the first one I wanted to have on the podcast. Not that I didn't want anyone else on the podcast. Of course, I like everyone that comes on here. But I wanted Mariss to be the first one because I think he has a very analytical mindset like myself, and I really loved the way he broke down some of his videos. He'd go through different things. He'd talk about, the top 15 tips of this, or he'd talk about, the top of this. And I actually learned some things from Mariss that I didn't even know myself. Like, it was actually in one of Mariss's videos that I first learned you could actually go in the rivers in State of Decay, because I always thought, oh, it's a river. You can't go in the river. So I just never attempted it. So, basically I never attempted going in the river, and I just went in the river because of Mariss. Mariss taught me that. So Mariss, you're a great YouTuber, and I really appreciate your videos.
Thank you. Yeah, the river. That's always funny when you mention it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on the list. I'm, as you mentioned, when the game came out, it was more. I jumped in and everything. Now I'm falling so behind for the latest updates and everything. All other creators are welcome to surprise and bring all the content. I'm a little bit splitting my attention. So, but thank you for putting me on the list. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I want to say, too, that I appreciate how you handle things like patch notes and everything, because not everyone, handles it where they go really in depth into it. And I appreciate how you take it and handle it in depth, because every patch notes that comes out that you talk about, like, say, patch 6.0 that recently came out, when you made a video about that, you go in depth about it and you talk about the whole patch. And I do appreciate that, because not everyone that's on YouTube handles it the same way. Some people, they talk about like the 2 first lines of the patch, and that's all I talk about, so that doesn't really help anyone. So I really appreciate how you try to, give people their information they need.
Oh, sure. Thanks.
No problem. But moving on to our third person on the list, Sarcoth, do you want to take this one?
Oh,
who's this guy?
We all want to take this one. Oh, we so want to take this one.
Go for it.
Well, Blaise is one of the best when it comes to keeping us connected to State of Decay and the community. I mean, he gives us all the information through the podcast, and now, since he's been involved with the K-Fest and Undead Trials, he continues to stay involved with the community, with Undead Labs. He brings everybody into his podcast to discuss the different topics that is like the topic of the week. He talks to, the devs at at Undead Labs, and, it helps to, I've like to think that you are one of the main reasons that we have such good communications from, the Undead Labs team.
Agreed.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah. I can just add it. I think there is no topic that Blaise at some point from some angle haven't already talked about. And when I was doing my YouTube videos, I was like, let's check out. And there was the same where I was on a podcast I made at the same time YouTube video. I was like, let's check out what he's doing. And he's like, oh my god, he's doing everything. He knows this game in and out. Blaise does excellent job on content creation for specifically for this State of Decay too. And that's the main reason we are all here today. So thank you, Blaise.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. I think you all do a great job as well. So I appreciate all of you as well. But thank you for the kind words.
You're welcome.
But we do have a fourth person on the content creator list as well. Fall Down, do you want to talk about this person?
Sure, I'd love to talk about Jersey. Jersey puts out videos after every single patch is announced, after every single patch is released, very concisely going over both the changes, the positives, the negatives. I mean, the feedback that Jersey provides is perfect. It's great. Like, it's exactly what you need for the snippet of information that you're looking for about the release itself. So, when the Zed Hunter crossbows dropped, there was a long breakdown of the positives and negatives of every single crossbow, how they work, how they fire, kind of the damage that they do, and breaking it down to really give all of us and all of the other players of State of Decay the information that you needed to make a good choice about what you wanted to go for, those particular weapons. Going over, the patch notes whenever a patch is released, going over the changes, little things that, people might have missed, insanity that people might have missed, the horde sizes, the higher likelihood of, special spawns, things like that. Like, it's really, really informative. So for those of you who have not been to Jersey's channel, definitely go. Check it out, especially after, a patch comes out or a patch is announced, because you will get some good information.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things I want to mention about Zerzio as well is he's one of the more funny YouTubers in the community. His videos have that kind of sense of humor to them, because he always starts and ends his videos like, "Whoa, hello guys, it's Jay Boogie here." It's always comical, and I say jovial is the best word to describe it. So he's always jovial about his videos, and I do appreciate that about him. And he has a great following, and I do appreciate him being part of the community.
Definitely.
But we do have a fifth person on our content creator list as well, Mr. Stainless. And Mr. Stainless is actually someone that was in the first ever Decay Fest with us. So he is a YouTuber that does a lot of edited videos, and believe it or not, he's actually the first person I ever won duos with in Daybreak. And he did a video about that. He recorded the video while I was streaming, and you can go check that out. But he was actually the first person I ever did duos with in Daybreak and won. So he's a great content creator. He criticizes in a positive way, because I remember one video he made that was critical of some areas of the game, but he does it in a way that isn't rude, like some people do. So I do appreciate that, because he tries to put forward his information and his thoughts without being in a negative way. So I do appreciate that about you. So thank you, Sam.
And one more thing I wanted to mention. I am quite sure that I've stepped on many of his videos, not only about State of Decay. So he is gamer, I understand, himself, and puts a lot of videos. So whenever I'm having some troubles with some game, I think his name popped up quite some time when I've searched something, how to do this or how to do that. So that's thank you. We are working all together here.
No, I agree, and I really appreciate him. He's definitely someone that likes to give back to the community. He's just not into doing as much multiplayer as some of us are, but that's fine. Some people like to play a little bit more solo, but I definitely appreciate whatever help and information and thoughts he gives to the community, because he definitely does a great job at trying to provide his takes and push the community forward in a positive way. But number 6 on our content creator list is A Squad Gaming. He is a YouTuber that is probably, in terms of subscribers, he's probably the biggest on this list. He does get a lot of views on his videos, and he does cover a lot for the game, like patch notes, potential releases for the game, and things like that. He does cover those, so if you want to check out his videos, you can see some of that. I know he has a Discord that has a lot of members in there, and
he's also an FPS master, just as you know. He is,
that is too.
Yep, he goes over, and in terms of his videos, very similar to kind of how Jersey breaks down the upcoming patches and the upcoming changes. A Squad does the exact same thing. He does very similar, I should say. But he'll also go into kind of the things that have been hinted at in the future, possible changes. Doesn't stick to just the patch notes, but also kind of what's been implied by the patch notes, what's been implied about things that are up and coming. So I like all these guys. They're so fun to watch, and they're so fun to kind of follow. Because everyone brings something different to the review, and everyone has different feelings about, the different releases, the different weapons, the different content that comes out for this game. And yeah, I mean, in terms of A Squad, like, listen to his stuff, because he's very eloquent about what he knows, and how he feels about the individual patches and the individual data that comes out, both hinted and confirmed.
No, I agree. And I like how you said, that everyone brings something different too, because with A Squad, I think his strategy is to go more into shorter videos, but he makes a lot more videos. So while, say, Mariss, for example, might make a longer video about one subject, A Squad does a lot of short videos on a certain topic. So he'll make a lot of short videos, and if you are someone that likes the shorter videos where you can, jump in, watch a 5-minute video and kind of get out of there, then that might be for you. So A Squad might be the person that, is the YouTuber for you. But he's definitely worthy of being a potential content creator of the year because he has created a lot of content for this game and he has tried to do a good job of, giving something to the community to watch. And I definitely appreciate that he's created a lot of content for us. And we do have one more person as a potential content creator of the year. Sarcoth, do you want to talk about this person?
Sure, the Mighty Gaming Channel. I met Mighty Gaming Channel back in May, actually. He started watching my channel when, after the game first came out. He's actually, he would stop by, say hi, and, just hang out, watching the channel for a while. Then, I started inviting him to come join me. He joined me for about 2 or 3 streams, and he was great. He is very fun to watch. I've gone to check out his channel many times. I like going over there, hitting the like button for him as well. And he's really cool with his viewers, his audience, and he's also got a great accent. So
no, definitely. All those Aussies, they have a great accent, and I definitely appreciate that. Mighty Gaming Channel, he does a great job with his videos, and I remember some of those videos I watched of his. He did like a 100-day playthrough, and he kind of talked about his experience going through that. And he's put a lot of time into the game. He's put a lot of effort into making YouTube videos for the game. And I know, for example, on his Discord, he actually had like a trading section at one point where people could kind of trade items back and forth. So if somebody had like a gun you wanted, you could trade them something else that they wanted. So he kind of put forth efforts like that to try and, make the community better. So I do appreciate that about him.
Yeah, I think that, I also like to note that I believe he is the first, streamer that I did a collaboration with for State of Decay too. So we were both in there really early on the YouTube side of things.
Yeah, he's definitely been around for a while making content for the game, and I definitely appreciate that. So, Mighty Gaming Channel is definitely someone you should check out. He does also content on Fallout, like yourself, Sarcoth. So he's another guy that likes Fallout. So I don't know if he's still doing content, but I know he was when it first came out. But he definitely does a great job. And I think one of our guests has to leave us, unfortunately. So
indeed, I'm very sorry, you guys. We have a get together with friends and family that I have to head out to. Thank you very much for hosting. I hope everyone who's listening, I hope you all have a fantastic new year. Sarcoth, Mariss, thank you guys for sticking around, for being awesome. Blaise, again, thank you for the content, for kind of keeping this community together and kind of being that rock. So appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today, and we really appreciate you joining. And if people want to follow you real quick, do you want to say how they can follow you before you get out of here?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I'm on Twitter at FallDownStream. Or on Twitch at FallDownGo.
There you go. So definitely check him out, guys. And if you think he should be the streamer of the year, definitely give him a vote. He's a great streamer and definitely deserving of some votes. So there's a lot of streamers that are, great in that category. So you'll have to decide which one you want to vote for. But thank you, Fall Down, for being here with us, and we really appreciate it. So we'll see you again next time. But since Fall Down has to get out of here, we're going to move on to our next category. I thought he'd never leave.
I'm just kidding.
Good one. Yes, and for next, there is a third category that is Community Member of the Year. And let me take this over, Derreck.
I do want to explain this category, though.
Sure.
Just so people know exactly what the category is a little bit. Basically, this is a category that isn't specifically for a content creator per se. People in this category don't have to be a content creator. They're basically people that give back to the community. They've done a lot for the State of Decay community in one way or another. It could be through creating events. It could be through creating content for the community. It could be through following a lot of people in the community and, giving a lot of support to everyone in the community. So it could be different ways like that. But basically people in this category, they're people that have put in a lot of work to make the community better in some way. So we have 4 nominees in this category, and Mariss wanted to take the first one.
Oh yeah. And just to make it clear right away, it's one of the toughest categories because I see all people here, and I want to vote for all of them. And the first, I'll go with the first one because that's Blaise XPerience, the same guy you are listening here in the podcast. And I want to specifically give you out big thank you, because for others, they just mentioned in this podcast already what was the entry point for this community. So for me, it was Blaise who contacted me, and at the beginning it was someone, I was just on my own doing videos and starting just in YouTube, and he was like, "Hey dude, how I can contact you?" And I was like, "Why? Why do you want to contact me?"
I remember that.
And it was so let's say awkward at the beginning, but right away he was the entry point when I met all other people, exactly everyone else, because I was solo, lonely wolf, and Blaise was the one, and that's what he does. He picks out, he takes care of everyone, and everything. That's why he's definitely the first person that comes in my mind when it comes to community member of the year. So first, yeah, vote for the Blaise. Vote for the Blaise. That's my entry here.
Well, thank you. And Sarcoth, you can comment if you want to, but I really appreciate those comments, Mariss. You know, it really means a lot to me.
I don't know what else to say from what I just said earlier, and what add on from what Mariss just said. So I mean, Blaise just a great all around community member. So, and like I said earlier, he helps to bring I believe you help make the Undead Lab devs more, more involved in our community.
Well, I hope that's the case, and I know that they're a great company and a great developer, so I appreciate them very much, and hopefully that is the case, because I love how involved they are with the community. But we do have a second entry for Community of the Member of the Year. Sarcoth, do you want to talk about this person?
Well, I already spoke about Mr. Dart's broadcast earlier. Like I said, I feel that Mr. Darts is great on getting his community involved with everybody else, which, I mean, it is just a nice thing to do when you are able to get your community involved with all the other streamers out there. He is great on rating everybody every night I log in, I'm seen to be one of the only streamers on at my time, so I'm always being hosted by his channel. It's just he just really goes out of his way to help out all the other streamers out there, and just all around great guy.
No, I agree completely, and I want to say, too, that he definitely tries to get back to the community as much as he can. For example, he won some extra items from Undead Labs that are, hard items to get, like t-shirts, water bottles, and things like that. And because he had extras, he actually had them send it out to other people in the community. And, I really appreciate him doing that. And it shows a lot of kindness from him, and it shows why, he's up for this award, because he definitely is someone that tries to get back to the community and tries to do his best to give us all a great time in the community.
Yes, definitely. He's working in community, and I just wanted to add, his efforts are great here. And just remember, if you go on his stream and click that heart button, that means you love him, he loves you back, and you can all be happy family. Don't forget about this.
I agree. And, he is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but I can't wait till he comes back and resumes his streaming, because he's definitely a great streamer as well, and that's why he's up for that category too. So, definitely a great community member, and definitely someone that's worthy of potentially getting this award. But we do have a third entry on our list for Community Member of the Year. Mariss, do you want to talk about this person since I talked about them last time?
Oh yeah. KC is, and I'm just rethinking. We are mentioning all the guys in here and all the great community, and it comes down to one of the greatest melee fighters and streamers, and great guy in general, because I watched K Sizzle playing other games as well, and he's always this supportive and understanding guy on the other side that puts, I'd say even he is the streamer, and he's the reason why everyone's there. But if someone has a trouble in a chat or just communicating, he's putting out, he's going out and just helping out. He's such a nice guy. That's our KC, how I know him, and I think everyone else too.
I gotta say something about, because I didn't get to say anything about Sizzle yet, so I just want to say that, yeah, he is really, I like how he's gotten involved more and more with the community over time. I mean, he's jumped right out into, wanting to connect with all the other streamers early on and saying, hey, I want to be involved in, what you do and what the community does. And over time, he's just become more and more of one of the figureheads. So it's great to see him out there.
Agreed. And I definitely have to say, too, with K Sizzle and Mr. Dart both, that along with myself, they are organizers of the community events that we put on. And I've definitely appreciated all the help that they've given because Mr. Dart, he came on during Undead Trials 1 to help me out. And then K Sizzle, he came on for Decay Fest 2 and has been an organizer since then. And both of them have been a great help in providing for this community. Mr. Dart, in Undead Trials 1, he was actually the person that came up with the name Undead Trials. So I think he did a great job, naming that. He does a great job with graphics, promotion, all those type of things like that. So, he's done a great job in actually making the events better. And K Sizzle, for example, he did a lot of work in Undead Trials 2. He did the registration that we all had, so he made that entire thing. That was all him, and he does a great job in making sure everything runs smoothly, and he did a lot of refereeing. He did a lot of behind-the-scenes work to help out during Undead Trials 2, so he did a lot of work to actually help me make that run smoothly. So definitely appreciate both of these guys, and both of them definitely deserve some votes for Community Member of the Year. But we do have a fourth potential member as well, so along with the three we had mentioned before, we had one other member that is not technically a content creator, but this person has done a lot of work to support everyone in the community, and I definitely think they are deserving of being on this list. Sarcoth, do you want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, Aussie, I'm telling you, I see him at more streams than anybody else. Actually, when I log in the morning, the first thing I do to see is what is Aussie watching so I can go watch it. And I found so many other streamers through him. And I just love that he comes out to our streams. He watches us, he talks in it, and he gets involved. He's even, I think he's probably one of the people that moderate, people pick him as a moderator for more channels than anybody else that I see because he's so involved in our channels. And one of my favorite things is that when I used to, as of 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I was streaming on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And when he would jump on my Twitch, do something about, hey, everybody, he would chat there, and then he would jump over on my YouTube channel, and then he'd always do some, fun little thing, if I'm playing State of Decay 2, he's like, the zombies are chasing after me, and I hit the like button. So then he just tried to point out that, he wanted everybody to like the video and stuff, and I just love the way he would get involved in all that, and I really appreciate his support. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah, if I can take over from here, he's to be honest, probably Sarcoth doesn't realize, but Aussie follows everyone. I will just say everyone because he's everywhere. He's watching. He knows it. He mentioned me, Sarcoth. He mentioned me Fall Down. He mentioned me the same Blaise. He mentioned me when someone does something and he's like, by the way, have you seen that? Have you seen that Sarcoth put out the video? Have you seen there's a new game coming up? And I'm just trying to keep up with this guy, and he's absolutely insanely awesome, being everywhere and entertaining and interacting with everyone and knowing everything. I mean, Aussie is one of our favorite, I think, guests whenever any one of us streams or even in your podcast, I believe. When you see comment from Aussie, he's like, yes, thank you. It means it was a good day.
I want to say, too, about him, he was one of the first people that really got on board with my podcast, and he's one of the few people out there that have actually listened to every single episode. He's even told me that games I don't even like say I did episodes on Darwin Project and things that he doesn't even play or watch. He listened to it just to support me, and I definitely appreciate someone like Aussie. Septic Aussie is a great community member, and he's someone that tries to support everyone in the community however he can, and I really love that about him. He's in Sarcoth streams, he joins my streams when he can, he follows Mariss, he follows Mr. Dart, K Sizzle, basically every single person in the community. I don't think there's anyone you can find that he hasn't, been in a stream for. So If there is someone, then I'd be shocked to find out about it, but I think he's been in every person's stream that's in the community, and I really appreciate that. So those are your four nominees for Community Member of the Year. We have myself, Blaise XPerience, Mr. Darts Broadcast, K Sizzle, and Septic Aussie. So definitely going to be a hard choice there. I think those are some worthy nominees, and good luck to everyone choosing on those nominees. Our next category gets into more of the game content. So this is our first game category. This is for best map, and one of these nominees is probably not going to do very well, but it's the Daybreak map. It's technically a map, that's why I included it, but in terms of the other map, it's obviously a lot smaller in size, and it's a map that I think has some very fun and unique perspectives to it, but it's obviously not the same size as the other maps. But we do have Cascade Hills, Meager Valley, and Drucker County on here as well. I don't know if Sarcoth, you want to shout out one of these maps as possibly being your favorite?
Well, for me, I spent, it's funny, I've spent more time on Drucker County because I was doing my videos on my vehicles, but I think that made me like it the least. But Cascade, I love Cascade more than anything because I just love the fort base, really.
Yeah, I was going to say Cascade's probably my favorite too, but it's not for the fort, actually. I do like the church and Lock and Key better than the fort. So
okay.
For me, it's because I like those bases. But I think Cascade is definitely one of my favorites. And it's funny you say that about Drucker because I had kind of the same reaction. I mean, Drucker is the first map that I spent a lot of time on. And I think because of that, it kind of wore it out for me a little bit. So that's why I don't prefer Drucker as much now.
But I also have to say that when they added Daybreak in, so for me, I'm voting for Daybreak because now that I see that you had it on the list, because I love Daybreak. It is my type of thing. I know that it's very repetitious, but I guess it's because I love playing the Daybreak. So, I could play that map over and over again, and I'm not, it would be great though if they actually add, I didn't even think about it until now, but it would be great if they did add extra maps to play the Daybreak on.
That'd be really cool, actually, to have different settings and everything like that. So that'd be nice.
You just made my whole life change, Sarcoth. I already imagine if the technician is in the middle and attacks happen from all the sides, you have 3 sides or 4 sides. Oh my god. But if I can jump in, it's definitely, I agree. And I will say big thank you to, I don't know, luck, because Drucker County was the map I saw after, I think first 2 maps repeated themselves more times, and Drucker County was the last one, and definitely my least favorite map. So I'm also just assisting Sarcoth on this one. Daybreak is the perfect map, and my reasons are simple. This map is exactly the map and actually DLC and play style where you work with your companions. Because whenever you are in casual, in default game, the host has a lot of privilege. For example, the same looking at the base, administrating and everything. When you are just a guest, you feel like a guest because nothing you do will actually matter in your main game. Then in Daybreak map, we are all equals and we all here and we stand until the last Daybreak and we save the technician and the day. So yeah, that's my input.
No, it's actually interesting because it sounds like both of you are kind of favoring the Daybreak map a little bit more because of the experience you have on that map, playing Daybreak. Is that true?
For me, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I just love for me, a zombie game, I love defending a base. So out in the regular maps, I mean, I enjoy going out, getting all the loot, doing all the different activities. Driving vehicles is my number 1 favorite thing. But in Daybreak, I get to do the thing that I like the most, and that's like defending against a horde of zombies coming at me. And then I like that, it comes in waves and it's just over and over again. You could, if they could do something where they could either add more waves or lower the waves for people who might not be as elite, but, that are working to get there, that would be a cool thing to do as well. I'd like Daybreak, so that's my vote.
excellent comment here. And yes, if Undead Labs at some point listen this, then probably difficulty settings not only for default game but also for Daybreak. For example, if we know that we are experienced players and we want to tune up difficulty, which means maybe add some extra prestige points, but give us extra zombies and difficulty as well, I think everyone would benefit from that. And it goes in the other way as well. For people who are new in this game, and I heard a lot of comments that I have never won Daybreak yet, and I'm like, how? But then not everyone is in the same level, and if someone is just getting into the game, then maybe some easier or some, I don't know, 5 waves of zombies will be for them. So, yes.
You know, it would be interesting if they gave us unlimited waves, and then that would be a great way to do one of our contests, you know, one of our undead trials, survive the longest, who could make it the most waves.
Without time limits.
And it could end up being like a war of attrition too, where, you know, I'm just tired of playing this after like 5 hours. I just got to stop, guys. You might just stop there.
Oh yeah,
that would be entertaining. It's like, hey guys, we're gonna actually have to stop because we're too good.
Those, let's say we have 4 people in there. Like those 4 people, they can defend it. Like okay, fine, just go home.
But I do want to mention a little bit too. Meager Valley, we barely mentioned it, so I do want to give a shout out to that one. That I do like how Meager Valley is the most drivable map, where you can basically drive anywhere without worrying about it. So I do want to give a shout out to that one. I don't know if you guys have a lot of thoughts on Meager.
Yes. Out of those 3, Meager Valley is the best for driving, and I like driving. I think Sarcoth too. So yes.
Yep.
That's the next right after Daybreak map.
So apologies out there to anyone that likes Drucker, but I think we're probably all in agreement that we don't really like Drucker that much. So, so anyone that's a Drucker fan, you know, you can still vote for it, but
not feeling guilty. Sorry.
Nope, no guilt here.
But moving on to our next category here, we have favorite community event, and we had 4 community events during the year. We had Decay Fest 1, which was a event centered around the release of Daybreak. So it's a week-long event, and there was a bunch of streamers getting together, streaming for this event. We had some YouTube videos as well, and basically we laid out a lot of content, and this was around Daybreak coming out, so we did a lot around Daybreak. Undead Trials 1 was a competition in the Daybreak game itself, and this is a competition that was done in solo and duos. Solo winner was Fall Down, who was here earlier, and then Sarcoth and Screwloose won for duos. Decay Fest 2, this was a pretty short event, actually. It was around the release of Zed Hunter. It was a 2-day weekend event on a Friday and Saturday, and we did a lot for the Zed Hunter release. So we did 48 hours of streaming, basically a bunch of different streamers getting together, showing some of the Zed Hunter content out. And then last but not least, Undead Trials 2 was the most recent event back in December. And this event was in the base game. It was a competition in the base game where we had 65 people, and we all went from 65 down to 1 winner, which was Fall Down. And basically in this, we had a bunch of different mini games in the base game, and we eliminated each other through those mini games. So that kind of gives a little bit of a brief overview of the events, but I don't know if, you know, Sarcoth, you have any comments on any of these in particular?
Well, you know, for me, I happened to miss Decay Fest because I was on vacation during that time, so, and I didn't get to take part of it, and I was depressed a little bit that I had to miss it, but then I was able to get involved in the Undead Trials 1, and obviously that one's definitely my favorite. I mean, I think that one went beautifully.
I figured, yeah. I figured that'd be your choice.
I got to help out a little bit with Decay Fest 2. I actually got to do a co-op with Fall Down Go Boom, and we had a lot of fun that day, and then Undead Trials 2, my favorite part about that was being referee and helping out with all the different events. And yeah, I mean, all great activities right there. It's going to be a tough choice for the votes. Well, not for me, maybe for everybody else.
Yes. And how about you, Mariss? What are your thoughts on those?
Definitely. Very good point Sarcoth mentioned here. Being a referee and leading the Undead Trials 2 was definitely something additional and special out of all of those 4. But my personal opinion is I enjoyed Decay Fest more because, as I mentioned, that's not fighting people against people because there's zombie apocalypse, so we need to stand together And that was community event where everyone was, let's say, not fighting against something, but for something, like for survival, for having all the streams. And even if I think my favorite will be the K-Fest 2. Even if it was shorter, it was a lot more people involved, and I hope in the K-Fest 3 there will be even more new faces, new channels, new people. So
Agreed.
yeah, it's all the mentioned events were great, and just I think my favorite will be the K-Fest 2.
Yeah, for me it's even harder to choose because, like, for me personally, it's like choosing between my kids here because I was helping organize all 4 of these events, so it's like, well, which one do I choose? I mean, because I, helped make all of these events, so it's really hard for me to choose personally. I like all of them for different things. Like Mariss was saying, the K-Fest is an event that gets a lot of people together just to have fun, and I think, 1 and 2 were both fun. Undead Trials 1 was a very fun experience, especially watching those duos matches. Those are very tight competitions where I think we had 6 duos, and all 6, really brought it and really, put the pedal to the metal on those. And Undead Trials 2, for that one, it was very exhilarating as well because so many of these matches, especially when we got to the later rounds, they were so close in every match. We'd have matches that were won by, seconds. We'd have matches that, somebody, if they just did one thing differently, they could have won the match. And it was very contentious, and we actually had a really great time facing each other. So even though they are competitions, it was all in good fun, and I think everyone, for the most part, had a lot of fun in all these events. So for me, I don't really know what one I'm going to pick yet, because for me, I enjoyed all of them. But next up, we have a category for favorite vehicle, and we have 5 choices here. So these are all choices that I think a lot of people tend to like when they pick their vehicles. We have the Road Mangler, the Big Boss, the Bandito, the Burninator, and the Zed-Buster or the Norma. The Norma is basically what the Zed-Buster is formed into. So, do you guys have any thoughts on these?
Well, let's see. I think everybody knows me by now. So, I mean, I guess there's not much to say, but the Zed-Buster Norma definitely is my favorite. Once you get her upgraded, she's just a beauty. I mean, I just love the look of the vehicle. It's not really all the driving of the vehicle. I get it. I do get a little bit of a chuckle out of the fact that, like, whenever you stop the vehicle, it takes it's like you got to like really put the gas in to get her to start up again. So she's a little bit slow on the start. Yeah, so if you guys watched a couple weeks ago during the stream on Maurice's channel where we competed, it was Scarproof, myself, Fall Down, Go Boom, and I ended up going second, and sadly, Fall Down, Go Boom, sadly, he ended up flipping me so good that I was out of it, but then they let me go ahead and try one more time so I get a little bit of enjoyment, because only getting to play for a minute and a half and me being the one who wanted the whole event to happen... Right. It was like, all right, please, guys, let me go one more time. So I went, and they could not get in front of me at all. I don't know if it was just because I didn't seem to have that much trouble getting in front of them. So I don't know what was going on there, but I want to say that it was definitely because the Norma, she could hold her own.
Yeah, for me, I mean, my favorite has always been the Burninator. I just love how it looks, and I love how you can actually have the horn make flames go up the side of it, and you can fry zombies that are on the side of your car. So for me, that's always been a favorite of mine. It does obviously take more feel doing this, but I like how it's a click to activate fire, because with the Pyrohawk, for example, that one is, if you click it, it'll stay on indefinitely until you click it off. With the Burninator, it's just, you click it once to throw some flames on the side, and then it'll go away. And I really love the Burninator. I just love the look of it. I love how it handles. I love everything about the Burninator. So for me, this choice is easy. It's got to be the Burninator. But Mariss, what do you think?
Oh. As you mentioned before, my analytic mindset says simple. Going through the list, it's simple. Burninator will be out of my list entirely because that's DLC car. Am I right?
Yeah, it's DLC
Yeah,
car.
so that's, let's stick to the default. So, first choice is off. And then, if you look on other cars, Vendito, Zed-Buster, and also Big Boss, doesn't matter actually if upgraded or not, the base car and upgraded version, handling is just terrible. As Sarcoth just mentioned, it's maybe Z-Buster is not the greatest for handling, and Norma has some other great features, so those three cars would be out of my list as well. If you guys know me as well, then I look at the list and there's no Wichita WS, and I'm like, what the hell? Because there's terrible handling, then DLC car, and then little bug that gets flipped over on every rock. So how? But yeah, that's my analytic mind, because I don't see any 4-door and enough size in a trunk and good handling, and there's just not enough for me, man. But yeah, I think then Road Mangler and Bandito would be my two top choices. One is speed and another is size.
And also another one of my favorites would be for looks. A lot of people said it was ugly when the first time I found it. I don't know if anybody else streamed it first or whatever, but I found that the Big Boss, the Green Monster is what I like to call it. When I first got that one, I made like a big video on it just because I loved the look of it. I thought it was so cool and so bright, but everybody that was watching I was so funny getting so many of the comments from people were saying that vehicle is ugly. And I'm like, you're just haters, go away. But also I would like to do an honorable mention to, I have a big thing for, the little mini vehicle, for...
Which one are you thinking about? Upgraded or non-upgraded?
No, the regular, the one that has like 4 different types, that you can do the scouting with and stuff.
The Brogan?
The Brogan, thank you. Okay, so I want to do an honorable mention for the Brogan because I think that vehicle is so maneuverable. It's nice and quick. If you get the sports one, you can scout all around with the scout version of it. Then you got the one that has all the cargo capacity. I mean, it is just an all-around great vehicle. Now, I wouldn't consider the cargo one for maneuverability or speed or anything, but for all the other ones are really great, and it probably was the one vehicle that I used the most during all my Derby videos that I did, and I did a lot of Derby videos.
Yeah, with that one, I definitely want to say, if you have a challenge to flip it, don't try and flip that. Don't be an idiot like I was. So. But as far as honorable mention goes, I want to give one to the Kaiser, and I think the Kaiser is a really cool car. It's basically what you upgrade the police car into. And it's a car that has a lot of maneuverability, and I think it has pretty decent speed. Some people don't like the speed of it, but I think the speed is, decent enough. So, for me, I think it's pretty decent.
No, Blaise, you are not getting it right. Not the speed is a problem, but taking away sirens, that's the problem.
Well, I don't need the siren that much, but
it makes it so much more fun.
Exactly.
That is true.
But yeah, good choices, guys.
So those are our choices, Burninator, Bandito, the Z-Buster, the Big Boss, and the Road Mangler. And next category, we have our best melee weapons. So we have 7 choices here. A lot of these are, top-level weapons. So we have the Bastard of Bellow Wood. We have the Clio Battle Axe, the RTX Extermination Blade, RTX Crusher, the Clio Great Hammer, the Clio Long Blade, and the Mamba, which is actually from the Zed Hunter update. So, I don't know what you guys think about these, but for me, it probably has to be the Clio Battle Axe, I'm thinking. I just love how this weapon works, and especially since they updated the game to reduce the weight of these, so now this is going to have less weight, so it's even more powerful than it was before, and I just love how this Battle Axe swings. It takes out zombies like a champ, and the durability is pretty good as well. So I think this is my choice for best weapon.
For me, I would have to say, okay. So for me, when I was doing the Daybreak video series on my channel, I was going through all the different melee weapons, all the guns and stuff, and I ended up coming down to trying out everything there, and then I fell in love with the Clio Great Hammer, and for me, I've now have made that my primary weapon of choice for for all my characters when I'm going out, unless I have a character that's specific for blades. But I mean, otherwise, I mean, it just seems to be my favorite, just because it knocks down multiple zombies at the same time, and then it allows me to fight the rest of them while while I'm trying to get recovery and stuff. So
yeah, I think that's definitely one of the better blunt weapons for sure. I'm just not much of a blunt guy, but for blunt weapons, I think that's definitely one of the best choices you can have. Mariss, what about you?
I think I'm now angry because you took my choice already.
Did I now?
From the list I'm seeing, I actually, now if I'm thinking, I'm flipping from blunt weapons, because that was my first suggestion in one of my first videos for entry in the game, because when zombie is knocked down, it's one of the greatest, because it means it takes a lot of time when it just is up and again attacking you. But lately I'm going for sharp weapons, and then Cleo Battle Axe will be my favorite, just for simple reason. If you guys are familiar with Daybreak, there is no any other better choice. That's your weapon of the peak. That's your main.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
So that's your favorite by default, I'd say. So that's mine. Yeah.
No, I have to agree there. I mean, I'm a bladed weapon guy, and I think you can't do much better for a bladed weapon. I mean, the Bastard of Bellow Wood was one of the original weapons that a lot of people enjoyed the most, because it has such high lethality and things. But once the Cleo Battle Axe came out, I think that's a top choice of a lot of people now. So I think this is going to be a big contender for this category. But we do have other ones like the Mamba, which is something that a lot of people like a lot in the Zed Hunter. And we have the Cleo Long Blade and things like the RTX Extermination Blade and RTX Crusher. Those have been favorites by a lot of people too. So, maybe they could be dark horses to take this category. We'll see. Or it could be Sarcoth's choice of the Cleo Great Hammer too. So we have a lot of great weapons in this category. But speaking of weapons, we have another category for weapons. This is for our best ranged weapon. And we have 6 choices here. We have a lot of different types of guns here. We pretty much have every type of gun except for a 22 caliber in here. So we have the Eternal Guard's Infinite Range. That's a 7.62 caliber. We have the DevGru Infiltrator X12. That's a shotgun. The M99 X1 Timberwolf, which is 50 cal. The M4 X2 Light SSW. That is a 5.56 gun. The G18 Auto Custom, which is a 9mm. And then the Echo X2 Repeating Crossbow, which fires bolts, and that's our crossbow in this category. So I think we have a lot of great options here. For me, it's going to be kind of hard to choose between these, because these are all weapons that I've used a lot, and I'm not really sure which one I'm favoring at the moment. How about you guys?
I know for sure, and I think everyone who watched and followed the Undead Trials saw how every single match, whatever issue or challenge I had, M4 X2 Light, I think that's the gun. My guy had.
That is a good gun.
I think it has 100 bullets in the magazine, right?
Yeah, that one's 100, I believe. And I think the Eternal Guards is 150.
The issue with Eternal Guard, just putting out again, analytic mindset. Eternal Guard is way heavier. And if you equip, you need really specific stats for the character, so it can run all the time, like still be a light on the backpack weight. But this light weapon is really light. It's really durable. The bullets, it's automatic 5.56 still. But the damage output, 100 bullets just without any additional magazine. It's really super weight and space saving. So definitely awesome weapon.
For me, it is going to be 100%. See, I was the type of survivalist. I like stealth, so I rarely went out to use weapons at all. If I did, I put a silencer on them, but then, you're always worrying about your weapon being damaged from the durability, from the use, having to clean the weapon and so forth. But Then you came out with the repeating crossbow, and I
thought you might like that one, yeah.
I am now permanently in love with it, and if I do use a weapon, it's going to be the crossbow all the time now. And the fact that I get 10 shots with it before having to reload, or reload whenever I want, but that it doesn't get damaged. I mean, it's great. I can take it out and use it as long as I want, and I'm usually good to go. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for adding the crossbow.
See, I never worried about the damage as much because I had a lot of weapon handling on my characters, so they could just unjam it, but it does obviously take time to unjam it, so if it never breaks in the first place, that's a lot better. So
Right.
I definitely understand where you're going with the repeating crossbow, and I do wish I had one. I had to borrow yours in the tournament, so.
But, that's kind of funny because I got a lot of curse from other people because they were like, hey, I still haven't found one of these crossbows, and then I started hearing that they're like the hardest ones to find, and I'm like, are you kidding? That's like the second crossbow I found. What do you guys mean? And then not only did I find one, but I found two. So okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't found. Like, I've done several mysterious broadcasts and everything. I can't find that one.
Wow. So
I will just add, if someone new in the game will listen to this podcast, I'm like, oh yeah, that seems like crossbow is the choice. I will just mention this slightly because Mr. Dart tested out this repeating crossbow on Plagueheart, and I think it took 37 or even 47 bolts, where if you go with light M4X2, then it's just half of the mag, just clicking and holding, just saying this, for a reason.
I only use explosives on Plagueheart, so it's all good.
I think that math has got to be a little bit off, though, because I know in Undead Trials 2, Sarcoth had a challenge for us where we had to take out a Plagueheart with a crossbow or CQC, and I used that crossbow for the whole Plagueheart, and it definitely wasn't 30 shots. I mean, I think I used like maybe 20-ish shots, but it definitely wasn't 30-something, I don't think.
Oh, then it's interesting. If maybe it's Plagueheart health, if I think it was changing at the beginning of after all the patches.
Yeah, maybe
that's true. Yeah,
they may have. Yeah, they may have updated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay.
Well, speaking of updates, it's funny that none of us mentioned the Timberwolf anymore because early on in the game, that was like the main choice for every person. They're always like, "Oh, I love the Timberwolf," because early in the game's life, the Timberwolf could take out a Plagueheart in 3 shots. And they did modify that and nerf it a little bit, so you had to actually reload once. But I think when it could still take out a Plagueheart in 3 shots, I think a lot more people are using that.
Hey, you want to know something? That's actually an interesting story on the Timberwolf. When I was streaming on YouTube, I would always have somebody almost every single night say, "Once you use the Timberwolf, it can kill this in one like something." I'm like, "All right, look. I know what it can do. I prefer melee."
Yeah.
And I would actually have to put like a note at the bottom of my stream saying, please do not ask me to use the Timberwolf because I choose not to use it. I have noticed, I know what it can do and I don't need the challenge taken away from it. And I was actually one of them. I was praising when they reduced the number of shots it had and the amount of damage it could do. I was like, thank you so much for making it more challenging because it just made me feel so much better.
Oh yeah, I definitely will mention this. Thank you for mentioning this. And I think in one of my videos when I made about how to kill Plagueheart, that was my first line. Like, I will not even touch the Timberwolf. If you want to go do your own things, I will show you 100 other ways how you can easily do that. It was crazy.
Exactly.
Right. And quickly, too, I do want to mention the other guns. We didn't really mention it at all. The G18 Auto Custom, it's a gun that does take a lot of ammo if you use it full auto, but it is a really cool 9mm gun that holds 50 per clip. So for a handgun, that's not that bad, 50 in a clip. And also the DevGru Infiltrator shotgun. That is the only shotgun, unless they came out with a new one that I'm not aware of, but it's the only shotgun that actually has a scope on it, and it's pretty cool to see a shotgun with a scope like that. So those are 2 weapons that I do enjoy using. They probably won't be my choice for this category, but I think they were definitely worthy of being included at least.
Last point I just mentioned, because Sarcoth already told that he loves to go silent. So yeah, on shotgun there is no way how you can silence the thing. So that's a loud thing. Just to mention.
That is true, yeah. But it is fun to just, blow the brains off of some zombie or something like that. So it is fun to do that. But moving on to our next category, we have favorite home base. And this is a category that I think is going to be pretty tight race between a lot of these because there's a lot of, home bases that different people like. And I think this is going to be a tight category for a lot of these. We do have three
I don't think it's going to be tight.
You don't think so?
Nah. Container Fort all the way.
Yeah. I do think that's going to be one of the main contenders for sure, but hopefully, for my sake, it doesn't win. I'm with Mariss on this. I know Mariss will agree with me that it's not the best space in the game, but the Container Fort is one of the categories, or one of the nominees, sorry. That's in Cascade Hills. We have also in Cascade Hills the Church on the Hill. We have Lock and Key Self-Storage. In Drucker County, we have the Knights Family Drive-In, which I know is a pretty popular one. We have the Abandoned Strip Mall. And then in Meager Valley, we have Whitney Field, the Rural Police Station, and Squellone's Bluery. So those are the ones we have. Basically, Meager and Cascade, we gave 3 choices. Drucker, we only gave 2. I don't think there's really one missing from Drucker that's, super popular. I know Mike's Concrete. I do enjoy that one, but I haven't really heard a lot of people saying, like, oh, Mike's Concrete, I love that one. So I don't think there's a third one in Drucker that really fits this much.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you for taking it out. But my personal feeling, and just looking at Container Fort, and even if the titles and all the information there is not mentioning that you have just a lot of beds somewhere in the Container Fort, it is a little bit, let's say, overpowered base.
I agree.
That's simple. Yeah. If they equal it out, Container Fort will lost in just no time. I think it just came out somehow. I don't know if there's a error or something, but it came out way more powerful than any other base.
Nah, it was because I said they needed to make this base the best base, and so they did.
Oh, thanks for that.
No, I think that's what it is for me too. Like, the Container Fort is so overpowered that for me, I like a little bit more of a challenge, and using the Container Fort is so little of a challenge that I don't really like to use it that much because you automatically get all the beds you're going to need, and we automatically get 8 beds that are passively in there, like Mariss said. So I think I prefer to use other bases that give me a little bit more of a challenge because pretty much any base in the game you can make sustainable if you work at it, and I like to have to work at it a little bit more. So for me, I think my favorite is probably going to be Lock and Key or Church on the Hill that are also in Cascade. And I do like those for different reasons. Church on the Hill, I love the view it provides. I love how the bell tower now can actually create a siege for you. So you can just, click that button, get a siege whenever you want if you're feeling bored. And Lock and Key, for example, I love how Lock and Key has that elaborate storage because that elaborate storage is a unique feature that isn't available in any other base where you can actually have very good storage for basically any category. So you can have a lot of food storage, a lot of material storage, where a lot of bases you have to choose, okay, I want, the ammo storage, or I want the refrigerator storage, or whatever kind of storage you want. But with the Lock and Key, you get basically all of them at once, which I do kind of like that.
And, the Lock and Key is actually my second favorite, and I would like to point out that both of those are in Cascade Hills. Now, back to, you're talking about the challenge, and I mean, I agree, and I felt that when I got the challenge, I did my challenge for playing through the first 4 endings. Once I did that, I'm like, you know what? Now my challenge is going to be whatever I said is my own challenge, and that's why I guess I kind of like the Container Fort the most, is because I really don't want to, I don't want to worry about my base anymore. I just want to worry about going out, dealing with the zombies, doing whatever types of special challenges I set for myself for that particular game, that stream.
No, that's fair though. I mean, I definitely can understand that. I just do hope that they rebalance the bases at some point because I think some of the bases could use some rebalancing, and the Container Fort is one of those.
I think,
like the
I think we all can agree that Container Fort is something like Timberwolf. Like, everyone knows that. Like, let's get to the next point. And my only assumption, if Undead Labs can hears this, then only thing that is kind of downside for Container Fort is that everything is outside. There's no inside facilities, and that's, I think someone thought that will outweigh the benefits, but the thing is, the only issue with having everything outside is if you have to put your beds outside, and if you are giving free beds with it, there's no downside in the fort. So it came out a bit overpowered. And I want to mention, I heard how Blaise said that Church on the Hill has this siege. You can have a siege in your base. Then Whitney's field will be my, let's say, comparison, because that is bigger base with more choices as well, and everything is outside facilities as well. And there's also, you can sound the alarm or the siren or what, and have the siege. So that's fun additional for the base, I'd say.
Yeah, for Meager Valley, Whitney's my favorite for that one, and for Drucker, it would definitely be the Knights Family Drive-In. Just looks so cool, and I get enjoyment of just driving back up to that one every time.
Yeah, I know, for example, for K Sizzle, who's not here, Knights Family Drive-In is his favorite, and the Family Drive-In is a very cool base. Just the aesthetic of it looks really awesome, having all those parked cars there, the movie screen. It's a really cool place to visit, and it looks like a castle, basically, so it's really cool. The Abandoned Strip Mall, I know, is one that a lot of people tend to like. For me, I talked about it in my podcast I did a while back, but I'm not really as much of a fan of the Abandoned Strip Mall now. One of the cool things about it is it has 3 large slots, which no other base can, say that it has as many large slots as this one. I think actually Whitney can, I believe, but those are the only ones. But it has a lot of space to do things with. It has a lot of built-ins. I'm not as big of a fan of some of the built-ins though, so it's not my choice. But I know a lot of people enjoy that one.
Oh yeah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think in every video where we are talking about base and there's someone daydreaming, there's mention that I think it's a hospital in Drucker County up on the hill, which could be potentially a base, but it's not. It's just a building.
Yeah, actually,
cool,
I would say that Drucker would become my favorite if they actually put that hospital in. I've been promoting that since the first live stream that Undead Labs has been doing. It's like, please make that into a base. It's like my number one request.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I know that one and the fire station are ones that people want to watch.
Oh,
fire station, a lot of people want.
Please, Undead Labs.
We do have a police station, which, that's on this list as well. I think the police station is very cool because it does have that armory in there where you can actually make some ammo. So I think for people that are newer at the game, that is a good choice because it allows you to make some ammo that, you might not have the mods for originally. So, and then Squellone's Brewing Company, I know a lot of people like that because they'd like to make a lot of whiskey to trade people with. So, those are in there as well. So those are, all the choices we have. I think there's a lot of great choices in there. I think it's going to be quite a variety of votes probably, but I do see Sarcoth's point. I think the Container Fort might win it just because a lot of people do like that, but I know personally I won't be voting for that.
We should take Container Fort out just because we know everyone's going for it, so let's see.
No!
Sarcoth, no! Alright.
Well, I will say, too, with Whitney Field, Sarcoth's probably the main reason that's even on this list, because I didn't think anyone really loved that one, but, he talked to me about it, and he kind of convinced me that, it should be on the list. So.
Whenever I play Meager, that's where I go, that's become my favorite one there.
Yeah, I thought, a lot of people hated that one, but, I figured, okay, well, we'll throw it in there, we'll see if it gets any votes, so. But that's it for that category. So moving on, category number 10, we have favorite leader types. So we only have 4 here, obviously, but we have Sheriff, Trader, Builder, and Warlord. For me, this has to be Trader. I do love the options that the Trader provides. If you build that Trader facility, you can bring some traders to your door and get any rucksacks you want. You can get supplies that you want. The Trader also allows you to make whiskey, which you can trade and get influence for. So I think those are great opportunities with the Trader that aren't available to other leaders. And for me, the Trader is my choice. I don't know what you guys think.
For me, it would probably be Warlord. I really enjoyed just playing through that particular finale, and you basically had to make some rough choices, and well, really, you just had to go out and shoot some people. But
Yes.
but that's the way I picture it going to end up being in the survival. You're gonna have to deal with other communities. After you've got a good base and set up, and you're able to handle the zombies. The next thing you're gonna have to worry about are the other communities and how to deal with them.
Oh, I'd agree with that. I mean, I will say one of the things about the trader though is, you mentioned the missions. I do love that final mission for the trader. It's, my favorite mission that is available in the entire game. And I love how it gives you a horde and fighting humans at the same time. So it combines both, and I love that about it.
I had a question about this favorite leader tribe, because it goes into stages. One is playing this leader, another is having this leader bonus. So that was my first question.
Yeah.
So I think there's no brainer if you're talking about the bonus we are having afterwards, right?
Right. That's why this isn't a category, because the bonus, that's not part of this. The bonus would be basically, builder wins hands down.
Hands down. No
it
way
be
there'd be any competition if it was based on the bonus. So everyone needs to know you're not voting on the bonus here, because there's no other option, to be honest.
Yeah. So my answer will be a bit funny, because obviously I think the most boring is the builder.
I kind of agree, yeah.
And then I'll strike out trader as next, for simple reason. Don't laugh at these guys, but I haven't. That's the only achievement I'm missing. I haven't played through trader.
Wow.
I had it, but I think something went wrong, and I killed or something. But yeah, I haven't finished it yet. So warlord or sheriff, and I think then sheriff, or I think both for me is similar, because that's way more action than builder had. So
that's fair. I know a lot of people like the warlord too, because you get the access to the armory. So I think that's a favorite of a lot of people for that.
I currently have my oldest community where warlord is, and I'm I'm on this point where storyline asks, like, build an armory. I built it at one point, but for the under trials I had to remove it to have other facilities to have a referee for resources and everything. And I so hate armory, because you can do all the same thing with enough modifications added to the workshop. It's waste of large slot, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'll go with sheriff. That means it. It's settled. Sheriff is my favorite.
All right, so we have basically all of them covered except the builder. So, any builder fans out there, you might have to rally some support for your builder. But
yes,
that's
please.
our choices for Fate or Leader Type.
I just, I would like to say we need to make sure we have a note on there that you're not voting on the bonus, because some people might not listen to the podcast, understand what it's about.
That is true, yeah. I'll have to include that in the ballot when I make the ballot up. So that's a good point there. So we'll definitely include that, but you're not voting on the bonus. It's just on playing the leader type specifically, and you can include the missions in there as well. So if you like, a particular leader's missions better, you can include that in your voting as well. Because I know, for example, like the builder missions, I wasn't a fan of those missions at all. So for me, the builder is like dead last in pretty much everything except the bonus, which we're not voting on. But category 11 is best skill. So best skill, we have 7 choices here. 6 of those choices are basically your, OG original choices. And then we have one that came out fairly recently with Daybreak that I thought was, worth including. That's hacking. Hacking is a choice that a lot of people were super excited about when it came out, because you get an extra outpost with it. So that is one that I thought, should be included on this list. But other than that, we have our 6 kind of original choices that people have loved for a long time. We have discipline, weapon handling, marathon, close combat, swordplay, and gunslinging. So we have a lot of choices here that a lot of people, definitely represent and definitely love to play in their playthroughs. Sarcoth, what do you think of these choices?
Well, for me, I'm going to have to, I was thinking already that marathon has always been probably one of my favorites, because I like to, if I'm not driving, I am traveling around on foot, and the fact that I can run forever with lightweight is just a great ability. But I would say that after they added in hacking, I gotta admit, I love having those extra bases as well. So, I mean, it's a toss-up for me between those two, really. For the rest, I'm a huge fan of close combat. I actually have one particular survivor that I go all out on. I won't even carry a melee weapon, and I use him strictly for my close combat because of it. And he's freaking awesome. And I will say that he is marathon and close combat, so I get to use him. He's like my prime one for traveling around. And it's
Mariss, how about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list, and again, as I mentioned, I have a bit issues falling behind, but for simple reason, I don't have hacking yet. But I've seen the skill, I've seen it in action, and having extra outpost, well, come on, it's overpowered. If you are managing the base and resources and everything, it's easy way out of troubles with bad. And I'm looking at the skills, and I don't have hacking myself, so it wouldn't be fair if I say, yeah, hacking is awesome. It is awesome. It looks awesome. I don't have it, so I just don't. I think I can't vote for this. And the second one, Marathon, is awesome, as Sarcoth mentioned, for the reason you can run, like, until the end of the world. And I think I will give my shout out just to Swordplay, because as I mentioned before, we are with Blaise a more to sharp weapons guy, and Swordplay gives you ability to insta-kill zombie. What else you need? Whatever side, wherever you are, just kill it right away. So that, I think, will be my nominee here.
So for me, it has to be discipline all the way. I mean, you guys, if you listen to my podcast, you know I'm a big proponent of stamina, and discipline gives you extra stamina. It gives you extra light encumbrance limit, and it gives you more weapon durability. So for me, it has to be discipline, because basically discipline allows you to have more stamina to do more things, and it gives you a better light comparing capacity when you can use less stamina. So for me, discipline has to be the choice, because it allows you to do more in the game without getting tired. So that's my choice personally. But moving on, we have category 12, which is best trait. And this is an interesting one that not everyone might know all these, because they are traits that are a little bit harder to get sometimes. So we have Unbreakable, Just Keeps Going, Indefatigable, High Metabolism, Incredible Immune System, Immortal, and Never Been Sick. So kind of starting at the top, we can kind of go through them a little bit more, because some of these people might not have heard of. But Unbreakable is a trait that I have on one of my characters, and basically, this one gives you 100% injury resistance, so essentially it makes it so, you know, when a feral gives you like cracked ribs or something like that, you can't really get cracked ribs. So you can still take damage, but you can't get injuries. So that's a very nice trait. Sarcoth, have you had Just Keeps Going before? Well, go ahead and talk about that one, then we talk about the rest after.
I'm looking through my list right now so I can see if I've had any of these. The only ones I've had, it looks like, is the Never Been Sick. I've not been lucky enough to get any of the other ones. So, all right, well, Never Been Sick is just great, because, you know, you basically don't have to worry about, you know, you're 100% infection resistant, pretty much. And I gotta admit, I mean, it's pretty cool having that. I've just, you know, basically
that's a great one,
I'm
and
going out
basically
for
makes it
doing
so
the
really
plague hearts. That's the one I take. You don't have to worry about
any other ones we have
being infected by
that.
I'm looking at the list, and I think I'm
pretty much the same thing.
Luck is not my trait.
I
think I had
a
character who's never been sick and unbreakable, but all the others.
And I believe Just Keeps Going
I have
a little bit more stamina at the start, so that's the difference between those two. But those are basically what those ones do. Incredible immune system. It's kind of like Never Been Sick. It's just not as good as Never Been Sick, but it gives you better immune resistance, a little bit better stamina, I believe. High metabolism. It's working towards giving you more stamina and things as well. Immortal. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I can't remember exactly what that does, so I'm trying to look it up real quick. But I know it's one of the better ones. Here it is. Plus 45 max health and minus 50% injury severity. So basically, it's kind of the same thing as Unbreakable, just a little bit less in terms of what it can do. So essentially, it's like a lesser version of Unbreakable. Indefatigable is like a lesser version of Just Keeps Going. Incredible immune system. It gives you the infection resistance, so it's kind of like Never Been Sick. So a lot of these are pretty similar, but they offer the best effects that are available.
I am watching both, not both, but all the skills, and my logic is quite simple. When I see stamina or okay, stamina is something else, but health or injuries or something, and then I'm always telling it to myself, if you never, let's just go with this logic. If you never receive damage, it's no point. There is no difference if you have 1 HP or you have, I don't know, 10,000, right? Because only thing that changes is how much more, even more hits you can take. So for me, for example, anything that's the same immortal or more HP, it's like pointless in general, because if you receive hit, it means you will receive more of them. And if you receive more of them, it doesn't matter how much extra health you have. If you are being hit, you will take more hits, and at the end you die anyways. So what I'm trying to explain is, if you manage to avoid and dodge all those hits, all the health traits and bonuses basically vanish. That they are absent. You don't need them. So that's a bit different for stamina, because as Blaise mentioned, stamina you use for dodges, for hits, for executions and everything else.
I wish I had them.
So I would agree that, in my opinion as well, and basically it's afterwards I listened podcast where Blaise explained all that, and then it realized, stamina has way more, let's say, benefits to it. So I'm just going through the list and checking, adding some extra, and for example, the same Unbreakable, where you don't receive the injuries. You get to 2nd level infirmary, so your person will be tired and you will have to change them, and all those injuries will be healed. So this Unbreakable, just my logical thinking, is pointless, because you will have your community member back fresh in 2 days or 1 day anyways. So why bother having this wasted trait point skill?
No, you pretty much took some of the words out of my mouth, because, I mean, that's why I love stamina so much, because stamina gives you a chance to avoid certain situations that, having all the health in the world, that doesn't help you avoid situations. And like my leader, for example, she has Indefatigable, which is a little bit less than Just Keeps Going, but it gives you the plus 30 max stamina and minus 50% fatigue severity. And the only difference from Just Keeps Going is Just Keeps Going just gives you a little bit more stamina. So I was lucky enough to get her, and she's the one that I've always used as my leader, and she does a great job because she has a lot more stamina and she gets tired less easily. So to me, that's a lot more valuable than having more health.
My only question, and just question, would be about Incredible Immune System and Never Been Sick, because both of them are working against the Blood Plague, and as we know, in recent patches they changed a lot, and I think everyone noticed how in previously, I mentioned, I think, in the streams and YouTube videos as well, like, I had never had issues with this cure, and now I've seen sometimes when I'm coming back to base that my person is actually sick, and I need a cure. So I think nowadays those two
what? You just
traits
made me
are
realize, like, now I'm questioning, can I use can I use the plague items on the Never Been Sick? What will happen to him when he
That's actually true. I never thought about that. So maybe they don't actually get anything.
So I'm about to try out, and I'll tell
guys,
you. Guys,
give us a moment. We are not voting yet. We need to check one thing.
Here. All right.
But
here we go. Nope,
right,
I am getting blood plague.
But
wow,
my
so
only,
this is his first time.
My only assumption when I see those 100%, it doesn't mean you are immune. It means that normal person to,
I wonder
let's
if
say,
he can actually
20
get
hits,
the blood
then
plague.
your
So
person
that
needs
I'm going to need
twice
a few
as
more.
much.
I'll
So
need
basically,
longer time to
it
test
extends
it out,
by
but
twice.
I know what I find out.
So it's if it's not immune, it's just extending again. How much more hits can you take? That's again in my book, it's like a bit waste, because you shouldn't have those hits in the first place.
Right, that's like with Unbreakable too, where it gives you 100% resistance to injury. I don't think it's where you can never get injured. I think it's just very, very hard. Like, say you jumped off a really high thing, you're probably very unlikely to break your leg, but I think it's still possible you can break your leg.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think that's what it is with that one. But some great traits there. I think we talked through all of them pretty well. I think, high metabolism is probably the lowest one on there just because it gives you a lot of health, basically. And we talked about why that's not as great. But if you want to vote for that one, go for it. But next category, we have favorite facility mod. And this is actually something that Mariss and I did a whole podcast on. So, we have some of these coming back that we did a podcast on. So we have Compost Bin, the Network Signal Booster, the Rifle Ammo Press, the CNC Mill, and the Pill Press. So I think I know what one Mariss is going to vote for, but you can kind of give us your thoughts.
I'm thinking what was my vote on the first time when you mentioned this then.
I think we both basically agreed that Compost Bin was the best. The Compost Bin, I mean, you pretty much just tap a button and you can get so much more food production. Then that's what I love about it, because it basically doubles your production of the food you're making. So I love that mod, honestly.
Correct me, Blaise, if I'm wrong, but I think I mentioned an only issue, and again, issue with Compost Bin I have is the thing you have to manage it. It's not something you can set.
Yes, that is true.
I am the guy who always, in all the games, always favor a passive skill. It's something you can set, and it's there, and it's working in background, no matter what, rather than something that you have remember to click, to trigger, to do something about it. So that was my only issue. That's why I'm looking now at Network Signal Booster. Obviously, imagine that's 3 outposts, right?
That's the extra 2
outposts. Yeah, 4 and
yep.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking from all those, if you have now, of course, Compost Bin can give you more food if you manage it correctly than 2 outposts, but yeah, it's all of those I see. It's great because CNC Mill is definitely one of the most used facility mods I had when Undead Trials were going, just to have those precious parts.
Yeah, just breaking down more and more parts.
Yeah, so, and Pill Press is something I never ever use never craft any meds when I don't have it. So, and rifle ammo, I need it because I previously mentioned which is my favorite ranged weapon, which also I need to craft that ammo. So really tough choice here.
What do you think, Sarcoth? What are your thoughts on these choices?
Well, I gotta admit, it's funny because every time I build a base, or at least like, for example, at the container fort, I always put down 2 hydroponics, and the first thing I put down there is 2 compost bins inside of them. So I'm a really big fan of the compost bin, but for me, I have to say the network signal booster is kind of nice because I like just going out and claiming more territories, or more outposts, just so I can have those extra resources coming in, or just spots. So really, for me, the outposts are mostly for having a place to stop off and resupply myself while I'm away from base.
One extra thing I just wanted to mention, I'm analytically again thinking how Compost Bin can give you more, let's say, supplies in total, like speaking about food, than if you take outpost and make a food outpost. It gives you only one food per day. Then I wanted to mention and highlight again Network Signal Booster, because now in the last patch we can finally craft ammunition, but if not that, then passive income in ammunition there is only one way, with outposts, and Signal Booster does the job, giving you 2 extra slots for that. That if someone thinks about fuel too, then if you are in the right base and you have a still, you can have extra food, and from food.
Yeah, I think you made some good points
with
with Network Signal Booster. I mean, I think it is a great mod. It's a mod that everyone loves because it gives you 2 extra outposts. So I think for me it has to be between those 2. But the other ones you talked about, I think they are used a lot. I don't use the Pill Press as much because I just find meds in the world, but if you're low on meds, you can make a lot more meds with the Pill Press. the CNC mill, you can make a lot more parts with that. And the rifle ammo press, I think that's probably the most used ammo press out of all of them because a lot of us do use the 5.56 or 7.62 ammo a lot. So I think those are worthy of being in the category. But for me, it's definitely between the compost bin and the network signal booster.
Oh, no, yeah, sure. Of course, you took out from ranged weapons the prepper's gun. So obviously, assault rifle ammunition will be the most used. But yeah, let's go with this.
Moving on to our next category, we have favorite facility. And in this category, we have some great facilities. One that Sarcoth just mentioned in the last category, we have the hydroponics. We have the staging area. We have the armory. And then we have two that are actually from the Daybreak release, the Red Talon Bunk Room and the Red Talon Workshop. So, Sarcoth, what are some of your thoughts on some of these?
Well, like I said, in the previous category, I always put down like 2 hydroponics in my bases, or at least that's my goal, because I like to get as much food in as I possibly can. I mean, I could go with food outposts, but I like spacing my outposts out around the map rather than going for specific things I want. So with the hydroponics, that just brings in all the extra food, so it's a great one. But since they've added the Red Talon Workshop, that's become my favorite, just because I like the fact that it's already, maxed out for you. And
yeah, the cool thing about the Red Talon Workshop too is that it, in your supply locker, it passively repairs your weapons, which I love that.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah,
you could throw all your damaged weapons in there, and then it passively repairs them.
I praised that when it was added in. I was like, oh my god, I can just put my weapons in. I don't even have to worry about it anymore. Exactly. So yeah, it's huge praise.
Just to mention, because as we in the beginning of podcast mentioned, we play a lot of games, and usually in the games, for example, the same Fallout, there's a limit on your stash box, which is not the case in State of Decay. So, being that said, it means you can have exact same your favorite weapon, doesn't matter melee or ranged. If you have, let's say, 3 or 4 versions of them, and you have this Red Talon Workshop, you just come back home, switch to the one that is repaired or least damaged, and all 3 passively are still being in the base and slowly repairing. And I've been doing that for all the under trials all the time. It's great. It's great passive skill.
But Sarcoth has already mentioned the hydroponics a lot, which is amazing because it's really great for food. It gives you 3 food a day, and it's awesome because it's in a small slot. But I do want to give some props to the Red Talon Bunk Room too, because this makes it really easy to be in smaller bases because you can actually put it in a small slot and it gives you 5 beds for a small slot. So that is something that was a great update to the game because a lot of the smaller bases, you couldn't really bring a big community there if you wanted to try that base out because you didn't have the bed situation figured out. So now you can actually have 5 beds in one small slot, and then if you need more, you can get a couple outposts. But it makes it really viable to actually be in smaller bases.
Yeah, I will then highlight, if I can, the staging area because...
Yeah, I love the staging area too.
And one extra bonus for hydroponics is what separates it from garden and farm is you can place it inside and outside. So that's awesome thing that you don't have to worry about. But whenever we are speaking about big bases and management and all that, staging area is one of the greatest because you can entirely just forget about materials in general. If you have, and you should have workshop upgraded, so you have passive income for materials, and the staging area taking out all the needs for your base. I found it really. I say I'm not afraid of this word, but overpowered as well, because one facility takes care of one particular supply. That's just great.
I agree with you because honestly, there's not a lot of bases I have anymore where I don't use a staging area because it's just so powerful to just drop down a staging area and then you don't have to worry about materials ever again. Because say you're like losing 4 materials a day, drop down a staging area. I'm good. I don't need any materials now. So the staging area is so powerful in that sense. I love using the staging area. So it's very rare that I build a base and I don't have that active.
And yeah, and if I can add, if you want to mention all the nominees here, that I said it before, but I'm not a big fan of armory because armory gives you this ability to craft all the ammunition, right? That's the main bonus. But if you have bought, how much is 4, 5 mods for facilities, and you can swap them out, and they are quite easily installed and quick to install, then you can install those weapon mods in your workshop and take care of your base and craft ammunition. Because let's be real, you don't have unlimited supplies of ammunition, like the supplies of ammunition. So you have limited time and limited ammunition that you can convert in bullets, and then you have to think twice before you do that. So I have never ever caught myself thinking, oh, I need to build an armor. It's like, no, just swap out mods if you need some other bullets to create. So I do.
Yeah, I think with the armory, it's more about convenience. So it's just more convenient to not have to swap anything out. So it's kind of like if you want to be lazier about it, it's nice to have that armory because you just go, oh, I have it all right here. I just pick this one. I want this one. There we go. You don't have to swap anything out. So it does make it a little bit faster if you want to be lazier about it. And I do see what you're saying.
And I like to be the king of lazy, so I'm a big fan of the armory.
Sarcoth, help me out here. If you like to be lazy, how come you are not using fertilizer instead of composting that you have never ever to manage, and only difference is 0.5 food per day?
Here we go again.
Just wondering,
Well, don't you still you still have to do the seeds at the place anyway? So if you're going to do the seeds, you might as well just do the compost bin. So I mean, I just don't.
So you are going and you are using seeds again and again, and in the same time you are speaking about laziness. I need to figure this out, man.
Well, hey, just so you know, each one of us have been contradicting each other all day, so it's all good.
It's all good. No,
we all have our
agree.
own preferences that we put up with certain things over others. I guess with the armory, it'd be I don't know. It feels like it'd be a constant switch thing that I don't have to do. I don't know. No. You got me though. I really don't have an answer for that.
I feel it. No, that is funny how man is saying like, no, I like to be lazy, and then again he's every day in his garden putting down seeds. Like, it's not lazy, man. No, it's good. It's good.
Well, if you want to hear more about the debate, though, I mean, Mariss and I debated so long on that topic in episode 26. We debated back and forth between the compost bin and the fertilizer. So if you want to hear more about that debate, we've already talked about this debate, in detail. So
for sure.
But the armory, I think the best use of the armory is if you're actually in that rural police station, because then you don't have to worry about building one and you get the benefits of it. So, but that's not technically a facility at that point because you're not actually wasting space on it. So I think that's where you get the best of both worlds. So that is a nice feature of the rural police station. But the armory is just kind of, nice to not have to worry about switching. But personally, it's not my vote at all. My vote would probably be, it's hard for me. It'd be between the hydroponics, the Red Talon Workshop, and the staging area. It's definitely between those three. I do use all three of those very often, so I'd have to kind of look at it more and decide, but it's between those three for me.
I'm just wondering how come Lounge never entered this nominees, because right after I have my staging area, Lounge is something that just takes care of morale, and if we all saw and know the patch notes that morale is something that basically a lot of efforts are required there, because if your community is not, let's say, happy enough, then a lot of bad things happen, starting from disappearing supplies, everyone fighting and everything. So I'm just curious. I wanted to mention
personally, I liked the Lounge a lot. I didn't think it was a facility that a lot of other people loved as much as these. I don't know how you feel about that, Sarcoth, because I do like the Lounge, but I don't feel like a lot of other people like that. I know Mariss and I like it.
I've never used it.
See, that's kind of the sense that I got, where like a lot of the community, doesn't really use the Lounge that much, and that's kind of why it's not on this list, because I don't feel like it's, a facility that a lot of people think about when they think about favorite facility. I think about it personally, and I know Mariss thinks about it, but I don't think a lot of other people think about it.
Right.
Fair enough.
But moving on, we have category 15. This is a category that Sarcoth actually suggested when I was going through the categories. It's favorite explosive or distraction item. So this can be either an explosive that is placed, a throwable explosive, or a throwable or placed distraction item. So we have the boombox, we have the block rocker, the firecrackers, the deployable minefield, C4, and field bombs. So Sarcoth, do you want to start us off with this one?
Well, I would have to say for my favorite distraction item is not actually even on the list. It's the flare. It lasts the longest, and it just seems to be, a good way to distract the zombies. And it also provides flame if there's gas as well. So it's a really universal distraction item. But for damage, definitely for me it would be the minefield. I love the minefield. It's freaking awesome. I'm so glad they added that in Daybreak.
Now, the minefield is definitely one of the ones I'm choosing between in this category. For me, it's between the minefield and the block rocker. I just love using the block rockers because it's so fun to see those fireworks just explode, and it has such a high radius of control that actually leads in so many zombies. There's no distraction item that has a bigger radius of sound, so this, can draw in a lot of zombies. You can set down a block rocker, just have some fun with it, just sit back in a truck and just watch the fireworks explode. So for me, the block rocker, it might not be the most useful for some people, but for me, it's just, it's kind of one of those nostalgia things where, like, I just love, using the block rockers for fun. So for me, it's hard to not choose that one, but I can see the value in the deployable minefield too.
Interesting. I'm just listening, and I'm the only one who, out of those 6, definitely will mention the first place split will go to 4 of them, and let me tell you why. I'll be quick about this. The simple reason, funny, if not, but boombox is best to use whenever you have these sieges in your base, which was in mentioned church and witness field. When zombies are coming in and you just want to have some awesome music while you slaughter them all, that's the best way how to go with this. It's awesome. Second, definitely if you are against blood plague hearts, then C4, most damage, easy as that. If you are in Daybreak, then deployable minefields are your best choice, no doubts there. And the last but not least, firecrackers. The same good old firecrackers, because they are the best to use. If you, and I guess some of you watched Under Trials, how KC and other referees try to interrupt me and everything. It takes you one click away. It doesn't even make any motion or something. You can do it while running, while in between looting and everything. Is the fastest to just, and the thing is, you are not placing at your feet like other distraction items. You can throw it outside the building or something, so all the zombies are even taken away, so you don't, it's not crowded. I think it's awesome.
No, I definitely remember using that against me in one of our Undead Trials matches, and it definitely worked to your advantage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good items out there, and it's still going to be so hard to vote on this category, in my opinion. There's so many I like.
Yeah, and the one we didn't really mention a lot was the field bomb, which I think is a really cool item that, you can throw this, but the cool thing about the field bomb is it actually explodes and it causes like a ring of fire basically around that area, so the fire actually burns for a while. And the field bomb is actually an item I use in Undead Trials as well. I had a demolition derby where in our demolition derby we are allowed to use throwables like that, and that's actually how I finished the demolition derby off, where I used a field bomb to destroy the last vehicle. So kind of partial as field bombs a little bit too.
Oh, yeah. It's like updated Molotov cocktail.
Exactly, yeah, it's a better Molotov cocktail, yep. But those are some great items there, so we'll have to choose between those. And we do have one category left. This is for Rookie of the Year. This is basically a category that is for a streamer or content creator, and it's for a streamer content creator that is somewhat newer to the community. They might be a small streamer that's, just building their stream up. It might be a content creator that's still a small content creator that, hasn't been with the community as long, but they're doing a great job, building themselves up. it's basically someone that is just getting involved with the community. They haven't possibly been involved too long, but they're doing a great job involving themselves lately, and they are worthy of being the Rookie of the Year possibly. So, Sarcoth, do you possibly want to take the first one?
Sure. Tall guy gaming. He's a really cool guy. He has a. I enjoy watching a lot of his streams. I mean, he goes all out with the community and really is I don't know, just nice guy, and I find him very interesting to watch. He's entertaining.
If I can add, yeah, it's he might be new more in our community in general, but he has some good potential. He jumped in
Agreed.
Undead Trials and as kind of newbie, but he beat and showed some quite good moves in there.
No, I agree, and he's definitely a great streamer. I think he's a streamer that has a lot of potential to put possibly in the Streamer of the Year category next year. We'll see how he does, but I think if he sticks with the community, then he definitely has potential to get in that category next year. And I definitely enjoy all of his streams. He's definitely someone worthy of being Rookie of the Year, possibly. But second on this list, we have another streamer that's fairly new to the community, Big Red 1115. He is a streamer that helped out refereeing a couple of games for us in Undead Trials, and I think he's a streamer that definitely has a lot of potential himself. He is someone that definitely interacts with this chat, like a lot of these streamers do. And I think he's a streamer that really has potential to grow big if that's what he chooses to do. So he's someone that I definitely enjoy watching, and I definitely look forward to having him a bigger part of the community in the future. I don't know if you guys know a lot about Big Red, but
yeah, I got to watch Big Red during Undead Trials too, and again, he did a great job on helping out with the event, and I love it when the people come. The new streamers were coming to help us out, especially when we were running low on referees
and stuff,
and just helping out. I mean, it's always great when they join in to contribute. So.
Oh yeah, that's
definitely
big help there, and I think if I can take care of third nominee here,
go for it.
Yeah, Andy, I haven't heard about him previously, but I haven't heard about a lot of people, great streamers and guys, and what I was really surprised about all the knowledge he has. And specifically about, I think he's really into modifications and everything, because he can cover that topic. Most of us other streamers, we are kind of avoiding modding game in general, but it doesn't mean it's not good or bad. It's the knowledge he can bring on and what works, what you can do, and when he was refereeing, it was pleasure watching. Everything sorted out, everything stacked, everything like, I got this, and I'm like, I always watched with a little, let's say, jealousy, because I'm just looking, he has all the parts, all the repair kits, all the fields. I'm like,
yes,
I'm out of them, dude. And he's like, I got this. Your car needs fuels. He just turns around and comes back with everything sorted out. Really awesome addition to our community.
Agreed. And I definitely want to thank Andy for all of his help in Undead Trials too. Andy, I didn't technically look at the numbers, but along with myself and K Sizzle, I think Andy probably refed the most games, possibly even more than Sizzle and I did. So, Andy took a big part in refereeing, as did a lot of people. Both of you yourselves obviously refereed as well, but basically anytime we needed somebody to step up, Andy stepped up a lot to referee, and I love how creative Andy is as well, along with Sarcoth and Mariss, who are here with me. Yourselves and Andy were probably the most creative as far as our referees go in terms of trying to come up with new things to enhance the challenges that we had. So I think Andy's a great up-and-coming streamer. He's obviously a little bit established, but I think he has the opportunity to definitely grow more this year if he chooses to do so. And I think he definitely is worthy of possibly being Rookie of the Year. But number 4 on our list, we have someone that actually made it pretty far in the Undead Trials itself. We have Scarproof. I know both of you know Scarproof. I know Mariss had him in his little game that he invented, and Sarcoth competed against him. I don't know if you guys have something you want to say about Scarproof.
Scarproof is a huge help too. I mean, he plays a ton of State of Decay 2, and he has everything. So if you ever need anything, he hooked me up with so many items. Like when I was running out,
He helped me too when I had to get more stuff too.
Yeah, so really good guy and good streamer too. I mean, he's definitely an up and comer, and looking forward to seeing more of his stuff and seeing how he develops.
Agreed. He's a great guy, and he's someone that really knows the game well. So kind of like Mariss was talking with Andy, he's also someone that really knows the game well. He has like everything you could imagine. After the Undead Trials, when I like refed so many games, he hooked me up with a lot of things because I was running low on like repair kits. I was running low on a couple of items, so he kind of came into my game. He gave me a couple of his items to kind of get me back to a decent level for my community because my community basically hated me after I got rid of all that stuff. So he definitely helped me out, and he's definitely someone that I think is really in tune with the community, and I look forward to more of his streams in the future because he's definitely a great guy and someone that's very knowledgeable and can be a great streamer in the future. But fifth on our list, we have someone that is technically a little bit bigger of a streamer compared to some of these other ones, but I thought he was worthy of being included on this list because he's newer to the State of Decay community, and that's ACC. ACC is one of the few streamers left on Mixer in the community. There's not a lot of them left, but ACC is someone that is very charismatic. He's someone that you could have a conversation with about anything. You know, you could talk to him about the weather outside. He'll make it somehow interesting talking about the weather. So he's definitely a great streamer. He's someone that is very good about the community. He definitely tries to help out as much as he can. And he was in Undead Trials 1. I don't know, Sarcoth, you remember his run in Undead Trials 1, but he had an amazing run with Riff Raff in that Undead Trials. It was a lot of fun to watch. So.
Yep, I got to watch everybody. I was able to tune in, I think, to everybody's during the Undead Trials, mainly because I was sizing up the competition, but yeah.
Yes. No, but I like ACC a lot. He didn't compete in Undead Trials 2. He had a lot going on with his technology. He had like a power surge that knocked out like all of his equipment. He had to replace like everything, so he had a lot of issues going on at that time. But I'm hoping that next Undead Trials he can get back in there with us and have some more fun. So hopefully he continues to interact with our community more this year because I think he's a great streamer as well. But next up, we have our sixth potential nominee for Rookie of the Year. We have I Kill You, Sarcoth. I know he was your referee for one of your games. Do you want to mention him?
Yeah, I Kill You was like I didn't get to even say anything about Andy, but Andy and I Kill You were really great. I either got to compete with him or they refed for me, both of them actually. I'm pretty sure. And but he was a lot of fun. He came up with he handled everything pretty well, and his streams were really good. And there was some extra drama entertainment that was going on that I will never forget. So,
yes.
And nor will my streamers ever forget. So, I mean, my viewers.
Yes, I remember that for sure.
So, yeah, good times.
I got a feeling I missed something. Damn.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
You probably did. We'll have to talk about it a different time. But.
Yeah.
No, but I Kill You. He definitely helped out a lot with refereeing, and we definitely appreciate that. So, hopefully he continues to work on his stream in the new year, and he hopefully continues to grow because I think he has a lot of potential to grow like a lot of these people do. Mariss, do you know much about our seventh nominee here?
Not quite sure. I'm looking at the mentions here, and I definitely have seen everyone around the streams, but
you might know him better by his Xbox name, Diatim.
Do I?
Yes. Well, you refereed for him, so I figured you know a little bit about him. But
I got the referee for him too. A good guy.
Yeah.
And I've got to watch a couple of his streams, and I have him on my list to keep watching as well. So this is Mr. Huge there, and. Yeah, it seems like a good guy too. I mean, there's so many good ones on the list there. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think we had. I wish we could. I mean, I hate to say it, but we need a smaller list so it'd be easier to vote. But then it's going to be hard to knock some people out. So
exactly, that's what's so hard too. I mean, a lot of these people deserve to be recognized, and that's why I thought we should keep them all on the list. But it also makes it really hard to vote too because a lot of these people are such great up and coming people that you definitely want to vote for. Mr. Huge, they mentioned, I competed against him in Undead Trials, and he was a lot of fun to, watch him when he streamed, and he was a great competitor as well. So a lot of these people have so much knowledge of the game that really works well in their streams for the game. So Definitely, it's going to be hard to vote in this category. Mariss, I don't know if you have anything else to say about Scarproof, ACC, I Kill You, or Mr. Huge, but I think they're all great nominees as well as the first three we talked about.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to mention, just don't get my words wrong, guys. I'm just bad with words and remembering people, but all of the mentions here, I've seen and participated in on the trials or helped out in any other way. That's just my issue with remembering words. So yes, Mr. Huge and I Kill You. I think whenever he was not participating, he was in the watchers list and commenters list, and so the Scarproof always showed up, and those are all great guys.
Absolutely. So definitely going to be a hard category to vote on, but I think, these 16 categories, I think it's going to be a fun awards show. And, next week, again, we'll have the results for this. So I believe this is going to come out on a Saturday. So I believe it's going to come out, the ballot is anyways, on a Thursday. We're recording this on Tuesday the 1st. So the ballot should be out probably on Thursday. And the nominations will be live from Thursday to Thursday next week, which would be, let me look at the calendar real quick, Thursday the 10th. So the nominations will probably be Thursday the 10th, and then we'll record the results show, and we'll talk about the results. But do you guys have any final thoughts on, the 16 categories we have here?
Sarcoth is a bit shy, I see.
Nah, I'm lost. I'm trying to get my words out. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I can take this. First thing was when again Blaise reached out to us, and he was starting guys, I'm making a podcast, and do you want to participate? And something I was like, what it is about? I had my issues understanding what, and once I realized, I was like, damn, that's the best idea I heard. This is the end of the year. This is nominees year, and we have so many. And there was, I think Blaise can take over from here, but there was a lot more categories on nominations that we could make and ask, and also the competitors in each category, nominees, way more, and the list it's basically the short list of huge potential here. So
exactly, yes.
I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, there was other categories I thought of. There was other nominees, and I want to thank both of you, Sarcoth and Mariss, as well as K Sizzle. Basically, the three of you were the ones that I kind of bounced ideas off of the most for this list. The three of you kind of, gave me some thoughts on categories you thought might be included, maybe some nominees to take off, so the three of you did a lot of help, bouncing ideas off of, and I appreciate that, guys. But I think we have a good 16 categories here.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to voting.
Yeah, same here. It's going to be a hard choice for a lot of these, but, a couple more days from when this is being recorded, we should have that nomination ballot out. So 1/5, the nomination ballot should, and I can't wait for 2019.
Oh yeah, we have a little bit connection issues, but as Blaise mentioned, it's and Sarcoth as well. I'm also looking at the list and all the categories we mentioned. I want to give my vote as well. Of course, I expressed what I think about each and every one, but it doesn't mean I will vote exactly, because a lot of those points were in the category where I'm thinking between 2 or 3 or even 4 nominees. So it will be fun.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun voting for this, and I hope everyone has a great time voting as well. Like I said, the results show, I'm going to try and have some different panelists on next time that we get some different perspectives, but we'll kind of see how it goes. I have some ideas in mind for panelists. I won't mention any of them here just in case they can't do it, but it's potentially possible that, I might ask someone that's already been on this podcast to come back. So we'll see who's available and who we can get on this, but it's going to be a great results show, just like this nomination show was. So I'll mention real quick the news items from the top of the show. Our next podcast will be on 1/9. It's going to be on a Wednesday. I'm not sure which game I'll talk about yet, but I'll talk about some game. And then next Saturday will be the results for this. and the ballot should be open, so definitely check the show notes for that. But Sarcoth and Mariss, I definitely appreciate both of you guys joining me for this. I appreciate Fall Down as well, who joined earlier. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a fun podcast, and I appreciate you guys jumping in here with me.
Yeah, the same.
You're welcome. Glad to be part of it.
So if people want to find you, Sarcoth, how can they find you or find out about your stream more?
You can look for me on Twitch at Sarcoth, or you can look for me on YouTube at Sarcoth Haven. So I'm on both, and I pretty much right now I try to stream off and on, back and forth each day to one or the other, and then so if you can't find me on one, I'm usually on the other, and I stream pretty much every night. So usually from 9 p.m. to midnight Central Standard Time.
Definitely, and if they want to find you on Twitter as well, I believe you're on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm on Twitter as well. If you guys want to come check me out, I do all my my streams all get announced on Twitter. Sometimes I'll even try to put them in ahead of time, but usually it's as soon as I start streaming, it'll pop up there. And also on Discord, I watch Discord like a hawk. So if you ever definitely need me there, that's probably the number one place to get in touch with me.
Awesome. And Mariss, how about you? How can people find you if they want to talk to you?
Oh, first you need to travel to Russia. Oh no, I'm quite
might take a little while then.
Yeah, I made it easy for you guys. It's ML and then Mariss all together, and wherever you type it, I should pop up. It's on Twitch, on Mixer, on Facebook, on YouTube, on wherever you can think of.
And for me, it's kind of the same thing. If you type in the Blaise XPerience anywhere, you'll basically find me. If you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me via email, theblaisexperience@gmail.com. Twitter and Xbox is going to be the same thing. It's just going to be Blaise XPerience, capital BLAISE, capital XPERIENCE. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook, so I have those as well. I have a Discord like Sarcoth. That'll be in the show notes as well, so definitely check that out. And if you want to find the podcast, you can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Blueberry, Podbean, Radio Public, and basically many of the directories. We're on YouTube, Facebook, so many places. Essentially, the only place we're not on right now is iHeartRadio, which I'm trying to get us on there. So pretty much anywhere besides there, you can listen to the podcast. But thank you, Sarcoth and Mariss, one more time for joining us. It's been a lot of fun to have you guys on here, and I can't wait to see the results of this awards show.
You're welcome. Glad to be part of it.
You're welcome.
And thank you to the listeners as well. We appreciate you listening to this. I know it's been a long podcast, but I thought it was a nice gesture towards the end of the year, State of Decay. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you next time when we reveal the results. So thank you again for listening to the Blaise XPerience.